NTV. Good evening from sunny, well, actually we wouldn't call it sunny, would we, Gray? Overcast Darwin today. My name's Dave Kennedy, and as I mentioned just then, Gray Morris joins me for this absolute rip snorter of a game.
Should be a beauty. The old rivals already, they are. They've only been playing each other for 8 years, but we're definitely old rivals. Tiwi's and the Wanderers boys, we're looking forward to a beauty.
Well, in round 16, of course, these two teams met, and it was Wanderers that went down by 108 points. Can they turn it around to the Tiwi Bombers this week?
Well, if any team can do it, Dave, it'll be Wanderers. 108-point turnaround you mentioned. They've got some big additions this week. Adam Cook down there at full forward. I'm looking at him now. Looks very, very fit and ready to go. And I reckon that's Daniel Motlop I'm looking out there. He's a surprise addition.
He is a surprise addition. It's been interesting. Will he, won't he play? Andrew Hodges quite tight-lipped on that matter. It must be coming into the game with some sort of knee concern, you'd think, Gray, so it will be interesting to see his progress throughout the day. I
was a bit concerned when his name was left out on Thursdays, but yeah, a few ducks and drakes been going on. So, and of course, Jared Cunningham out of the Tiwi side in controversial circumstances dropped for disciplinary reasons.
Yeah, that's disappointing because he was good last week in a side that performed fairly poorly. 70 points was the margin in the game before, we must mention, Gray. So Southern Districts have earned the right to play St Mary's next week. Nightcliff will play against the winner of this game as we are about to get underway on AFL NTV. A big welcome to Darwin if you've just joined us. We are underway in the elimination final. The bounce favours the Bombers and the tap down comes straight down to Willie Rioli, who goes inside 50 towards Height. Can't quite take the mark. Ball off hands. Mucks have the numbers. Mitchell Taylor back into the side. Little handball over the top to VV. They link up by hands well. Wanderers. Bates couldn't quite take it though. Finch left it. And now the Bombers attempting the rappel. Spills out Cantilla. High kick up towards half forward. Spills down towards Scanlon. Wants someone to lead towards him. He takes a bounce. He might go all the way. Paul Scanlon from the boundary. It's a bit of a nothing kick, but it's cut off in defence. Wanderers have numbers. Daniel Wheatra was the man to cut it off. He goes back to the same side where it came from. The kick was intended for Simon Bates. Mullins flies across the front of the pack and knocks it out of bounds. Great crowd in today, Gray.
Terrific, and the Tiwi Bombers have come to play, Dave. They've done all the attacking so far.
55 seconds played here on AFL NTV, and as you mentioned, it's been all the Bombers so far for that minute. Meeson, another big inclusion. Quick hands to Willie Rioli. Kicks up towards the forward pocket and it spills out of play. Another boundary throw in, this time inside 50 for the Bombers.
Looking at Willie Rioli there, Dave, looks very, very fit. Obviously been doing some hard work down there in the SANFL.
You had a chat to Willie during the week, Gray?
Yes, looked in magnificent nick. Very, very keen to do well this afternoon as well.
Boundary throw in. What can the Bombers manage? Eventually it was Daniel Motlop that got the hands off and the Mucks are out of trouble. It's only momentarily though. Mark's taken on the far side of the ground there by John Meeson. Jackson Holmer stands the mark. They're going to just be patient here, the Bombers, and they concede territory all the way back to centre wing. Albert Tippenwoody takes the mark. And now all the way back to centre half back. Now Jason Purantanamiri has the ball. Goes with the right foot. We know he can kick on both. Finds the target. It's a good kick that finds Finch. He's got the ball just forward of centre wing. Kicks up towards Liddy. Didn't manage to kick a goal last week in the Dennis Dunn decider and didn't quite get near it on that occasion. Davin Ferreira, meantime, very close to the boundary line. The young fellow kept it in. And now Seedon takes it out of bounds. That's Joel Seedon. And another boundary throw in. So Wanderers pass halfway for the first time off their own boot, Gray.
Yes, it's going to be a battle of the inside and the outside, Dave. As I said on radio yesterday, the Tiwi's on the outside and Wanderers must win the ball on the inside.
Huge welcome to everyone watching live on AFL NTV. Cracking game here as Stephen Miles takes it at centre half back. Kicks up towards Roy Cantilla. Mitchell Taylor for company. Taylor put his hands up in the air and said, I didn't get you in the back, but in the end he has conceded the free kick, so Cantilla will take it just backwards of the centre circle here. TIO Stadium with plenty of people in the stands at the moment, and the ground in reasonably good nick considering a cyclone is in the vicinity and has passed through the area. Simon Munkara goes in the Liddy direction. Wanderers have the spare back, and this is Christian Childs. He's a a very big inclusion, I feel, as well today, Gray.
Yes, the big fellow can take a mark either up forward or down back.
Over the top, Thomas Motlop, another one that can play at both ends of the ground. And that kick is a turnover, though. Willie Rioli cuts it off. So both teams, with a couple of spares across their half-back line, are able to cut things off at the moment. Albert Tippenwoody, wide and lateral. Jason Purintatamiri, the half-back flank, the far side of TIO. He goes short and backwards to McKelvey. And now wider to John Meeson. What can Meeson do with it? Goes short and inboard. He wanted Finch. Patrick was in the way. Patrick didn't take the mark. Then Finch was claimed by him. Managed to dispossess him, Liam Patrick. JJ Motlop got the handball off. Ferreira inside 50. Coming back with the flight there is Cook. Welcome back to the Northern Territory, Adam Cook.
Didn't waste any time though, Wanderers. No fooling around in the pockets. Went straight to the big fellow Cook, and he's, so far anyway, David, has not let them down.
Adam Cook for the first shot on goal of the game. He comes in and he sends it through the middle. First blood to the Eagles in the elimination final.
Yes, that's what they needed. Tiwi's had all the play, but in the end it was some ferocious play around the middle of the ground there by Liam Patrick, who dropped the mark but went back and got the ball, and a goal to big Adam Cook.
Gray Morris, you mentioned during the week that you think that Adam Cook is your X factor. He's a real X factor and a game changer for you. How important do you think he is in today's match?
I just think his height down there, his height and strength, Dave, against that really undermanned. I see he's got Jason Purintatamiri on him down there now, but the height and strength will be a big factor. If he can mark it or at least bring the ball to ground and bring his runners into the game, the Eagles are right in it.
Huge game, this one. It's the Wanderers by 1 goal. But once again, the Bombers win the clearance, and once again, Finch involved. Up towards Willie Rioli. Couldn't quite take it. He's got Thomas Motlop for company. Motlop did very well in the circumstances. Got it to Bates. To Aaron Motlop. Back to Thomas Motlop. They're slightly overusing the footy, but the Muck-Mucks work their way out of trouble. And now the mark is taken at half-back, or at half-forward by Liam Patrick. Looks inside 50. There's plenty of tools up there. One of them's Cook. Couldn't quite take it this time. It spills out of play. Wanderers inside attacking 50. 5.5 minutes gone. The Muck-Mucks leading by a goal on AFL NTV. Dave Kennedy and Gray Morris joining you wherever you're watching around the world. We've got a big audience today, and it's great to have so many people watching and listening on AFL NTV as Meeson taps that one down. Good work from Seedon through traffic. Kicks up to the hot spot. Liam Patrick came back with the fly to the footy. Couldn't quite take the mark. It spills off hands. Now a chance for Paul Grant. McKelvey flew in, and they all pile up on the footy. Another ball up, this time at half forward for the Wanderers on the grandstand side here at TIO Stadium.
Wanderers have regained a bit of poise here, and another big factor in this game, Dave, is finals experience. I'd say Wanderers in terms of experience are way in front of the Tiwi Bombers.
It's a really good point. Confidence is such a big part of the game, isn't it, Gray? Clever tap, JJ Motlop. He just had a ping on goal, and in the end, Jason Purintatamiri saw it through. First minus score of the game goes to the Wanderers as well. Tiwi want to work this one out of defence quickly, and Mullins has got it on the far side. He needs someone to lead up towards him, and his kick goes wide of the mark, out of bounds on the full. So Wanderers with the momentum in the last couple of minutes, Gray.
Yes, that mistake there by Mullins, what I was talking about, perceived pressure. He had no one near him, but he had to kick the ball out in the full.
Temporary hold up here. Thomas Motlop forced a kick again. Oh, in fact, it's not going to be Thomas to kick, Aaron Motlop now. So he sends a long ball inside 50. What can Wanderers manage? The punch comes from McKelvey, I should say. Is that right, Great? McKelvey? McElwee, there we go.
He's a boy from Tasmania.
Yeah. I didn't know that he's a young Taswegian up here. And he's already making a mark in the defence for the Bombers. That time, he's around the footy, and his partner in crime, Josh Finch, is involved, and another ball up inside 50 for Wanderers. So the defenders of the Tiwi Bombers put under immense pressure early in this game. They trail by 7 points, and there's another shot on goal. Chris Dunn from the clearance. That's his specialty. He bangs one through.
Yes, they just worked at it then. More importantly, they locked the ball in, and the Tiwis don't like it, as I said, inside. They like to get the ball outside. And it was Wanderers who benefited with a nice snap there by the goal sneak Chris Dunn.
The Eagles have the jump, 2-1-13. They lead the Bombers, yet to score, I should say. 8.5 minutes gone in the first term on AFL NTV. The goal kickers so far, Chris Dunn and Adam Cook. And the Eagles on the front foot after the Bombers had momentum but failed to capitalise, Gray.
Yes, they did have the running, but as I said, the Eagles have regained their poise and they're getting numbers around the ball too, which is a great sign for Coach Andrew Hodges, the man you spoke to during the week, though.
I did. He mentioned his X factor was Liam Patrick, who started the game reasonably well as well. As umpire Collins comes in to restart things, Erlinson does the ruck work for the Eagles. Dunn involved again, comes out, and Cruz sends them forward. The Eagles, that is, but Jason Purantatamiri cuts it off inside his defensive 50. And this is where the Bombers can carve up on the rebound. Owen Henry looks inboard. It's not a good kick. Put Aussie Wanamiri under immense pressure, but Bradley Palapamini was able to gather at ground level. Now Aussie Wanamiri in there again. Good shepherd from Palapamini. Allows him to kick up towards Roy Cantilla. What can the Bombers manage at half forward? Cantilla has the ball about 60 from home. There's not too much movement coming from inside attacking 50. In the end, it's just a high up and under, a hit and hope, but Christian Height couldn't quite take it. Tungatalum at ground level, got the handball out, spills out. Willie Rioli through the congestion. He's well wrapped up, got the handball out to Wanamiri, couldn't quite take it. Dunn was involved, got it to Aaron Motlop. Casemiro on the back foot. He dribbles a kick towards goals. Liddy might pounce on the loose footy, got the handball off. Oh, it's just chaotic seeds. It might go through. In the end, it's just touched on the line. Wheatra managed to get a fingertip. Geez, that was just a comedy of errors, Gray.
Some nervous play there from Casemiro. Why you want to chip a ball back into the goal square? Just go long down the flank.
Well,
like
Daniel
Motlop did then.
Yeah, exactly. Daniel Motlop to steady the ship, and he does just that. David Cruz takes the mark at half back and moves it on to Alex Erlinson. Wanderers already out of defensive 50. A little bit too easy for my liking as the Eagles go further forward towards Jared Erlinson. Couldn't quite take it. Cantilla's involved. Patrick onto the loose footy. Spins and runs a ring around them, and then up to Alex Erlinson. And then a good kick finds Adam Cook. He's about 80 from home. Plays on immediately, sends a wobbling kick inside 50, didn't find anyone, spills out of play, but the Eagles have it at their end of the ground, a boundary throwing about 40 from home, Gray.
Their big names look like they're on too. Neil Vivi, they're tagging Willie Rioli, but Cook and Liam Patrick look like they've come to play.
Thomas Motlop on Ross Tungatalum, huge matchup. Neil Vivi on Willie Rioli, huge matchup. There's big matchups all around the ground, isn't there, Gray?
Yes, matchups, that's what finals football are all about, and pressure.
Christian Height emerges from the clearance. Got it to Bradley Palapamini, but his ball was smothered very well. Now Erlinson inside 50. It's a good kick. Finds Chris Dunn. Takes the mark. About 40 from home. He'll kick from 45.
A lot of these Wanderers players coming off good games last week too, though, very important. Erlinson was very good against Palmerston, as was Liam Patrick. So it's a continuation of last week, which is great news for the Eagles fans out there.
Chris Dunn already a goal to his name today. In he comes. This would be the dream start for the Eagles. They only just scraped into the 5, but now they're looking like they're going to claim a scalp in the elimination final. Dunn kicks his second. The Eagles kick clear to a 19-point lead.
Just looking at that forward structure down there, you've got Cook and then no one virtually up until the 50, so plenty of room there for the big fella to move. And Dunn, of course, is the one benefiting from that. He's running into space very nicely, as he often does.
Well, this is probably not the way that we thought things were going to play out early on in the game, Gray. I guess the Bombers will be relying on that fast scoring ability that we know that they can harness. But at the moment, it's Wanderers in control. 3 goals the difference in it, Gray.
Yes, they're playing very good football early.
Christian Height gives a bit of a don't argue, the umpire said. But he gave one high.
Yes, the fend off.
Now the kick from Joel Cabillo out wide. There's a whistle, and it's another holding free kick, and it's going the Wanderers' way once again. So the rub of the green and all the momentum is wearing blue and gold at the moment. The Eagles in control. Davin Ferreira goes out wide. It's very wide, but it's just in play for Erlinson to take the mark. Almost on the fence. Looks in short. Beautiful. Kick has to be perfect. It was. Chris Dunn, well, he's having a prolific influence on this game already.
It's the one running into the space that he's finding in front of him, Dave. I think Willie Rioli and his coaching staff have to look at that very closely.
Well, we know that Chris Dunn is an elite runner. He has run marathons in the past, Gray, and at the moment he is running rings around the Bombers. Chris Dunn, he's already kicked 2. He sends another one on its way, and there's goal number 3. Chris Dunn is getting the job done today.
Wanderers playing in front too. That free kick out here on the half-forward flank was solely because he was a man in front, and that's the way Wanderers want to be. They're walking back to position very quickly, Wanderers, pointing at each other. They're certainly on a high right now. Tiwis have to find an answer very quickly. If they get too far back, it's going to be a long way back.
Well, alarm bells already for the Tiwi Bombers as they trail this one by 4 goals. They haven't been able to register a goal as yet.
While we're on tags too, I see Thomas Motlop is tagging the dangerous Ross Tungatellum. Very interesting matchup, that one.
It's a huge matchup, that one, Gray. And if Thomas Motlop wins that matchup, you feel that Wanderers win the game as JJ Motlop sends Wanderers into attack. Chris Dunn again got the hands off. JJ Motlop in towards the pocket, and a diving mark is taken by Jackson Holmer.
Beautiful mark, wasn't it?
This is incredible. Wanderers are really making a statement here in the early stages of this elimination final.
Yes, especially when you think the last time these two sides played, Dave, Wanderers kicked 5 goals to Tiwi's 23. They've almost kicked the 5 goals already.
Unbelievable. Here's Jackson Holmer for a 5th goal in the opening 15 minutes. Holmer, it's a high kick, but it's a straight kick, and it's straight through the middle. Another goal for the Eagles.
Yes, I can't see too much work coming from the Tiwi coaching bench either. You'd think they'd have the runner working furiously right now, but I think Willie's going to wait till quarter time. Only been going 15 minutes, so they have to regroup pretty quickly.
Wow. Incredible scenes here at TIO Stadium. 15 and a half minutes played. And if you're watching on AFL NTV, you'll see that the score is correct. 5-1-31 to the Tiwi Bombers, just 1 behind. This is not the way that certainly not the way that I anticipated. Gray, I saw that you actually, what's the word? Hedged your bets, I guess you'd say.
Yes. On
DK and Gray, you tipped the Bombers, but in the paper the next day you've tipped Wanderers. So which one are you going to say Wanderers now, aren't you?
Well, that's right. I'm a Wanderers man now. No, but the game's far from over. This Tiwi side has played too well during the year to give them away early, and here they come.
Here they go. Finch at half forward. Little one over the top. Owen Henry inside 50. Tungatallum left it, and Simon Munkara took the mark close to ground. Well, the veteran needs to go back and produce a straight kick here, doesn't he, Gray?
Well, he does. They need a settler, so to speak. They've only kicked a point, and Rupert will know that.
Here we go. Here's Simon Munkara.
Simon, I mean.
Comes in, and the veteran steadies the ship. Simon Munkara opens the Bombers' goal for the elimination final. They move to 1-1-7, and Wanderers 5-1-31. The margin is still 24 points on AFL NTV as we tick towards the 17.5 minute mark, Gray.
Yes, nice goal there. As you said, Ross Tungatallum played the dummy, ran across and straight onto the chest of the veteran Simon the Pieman Munkara, and he's put the Tiwis on the board, so they'll be hoping that settles everyone down a bit.
Well, clever tap there from Meeson to Christian Height, but the umpire found a free kick before that for a Shepherd. It's going the Bombers' way anyway, and Meeson, sense of deja vu, goes back to Height and then to Roy Cantilla. Bombers want to move it on quickly. Cantilla in towards Munkara. Motlop got front position too easily though and took a very easy defensive mark. Steady things for the Eagles. They'd be happy to go in with the lead of 24 points at quarter time, Gray, so they're not in any hurry at the moment. Back to Casemiro, who's on the last line of defence. Some good running from Motlop, able to provide the Shepherd. Willie Rioli came to affect that. Neil VV had to be clean, and he was. got it to Thomas Motlop. And now Vivi just down in the foreground. They're not 100% sure. You can see there on the right-hand side of your screen. Neil Vivi just went down after giving the hands there. Meantime, Casemiro up towards the wing. It comes off hands. Mullins just sends a high ball inside 50. Matthias Liddy flies. It comes off hands. Simon Munkara couldn't quite take it. Willie Rioli was claimed. Vivi emerges though, and he streams out of defence with the kick. Should have been taken there by Joel Cabillo. The Bombers might get another chance. Dion Munkara hasn't had a touch today. Now he gets his first opportunity. Taps it out. Ross Tungatalam also hasn't found too much of the footy. But now he does. And of course he uses it towards Liddy. Couldn't quite take the mark. It spills off hands. And Cantilla sees it out of play. Boundary throw in inside 50 for the Bombers. Almost 19 and a half minutes gone on AFL NTV.
Gee, there hasn't been a lot of movement there from the Tiwi Bombers forward line. There was a lot of that pass, in fact, from Tungatalam was more in desperation than anything else.
Christian Height forced to do the ruck work. He's not a noted ruckman, and he conceded plenty of inches on that occasion, but in the end there's a free kick and it's going to Mitchell Taylor inside defensive 50. He goes short to Daniel Motlop, and once again the Eagles, with a series of short passes, will exit defensive 50. Thomas Motlop, no one manned the mark. He streamed out of defence, kicked them into attack already. Cook should have taken the mark. It was an easy mark that he spilt. Gave Purutatamiri a chance to get involved. Couldn't quite pick it up. Patrick off the ground. They're just nudging it forward, the Eagles. Meeson close to ground, couldn't pick it up. They're in trouble here, the Bombers. Tip and Woody off the ground. That was clever. Got it to Palapamini, who goes in short and finds Finch, and suddenly the Bombers are away on the rebound. Short one there, Tungatalam to Wanamiri. Plays on inside 50. Willie Rioli can keep running. No, elects to go back, but he took the mark inside 50. Very nearly played on there. Willie Rioli. He's in a couple of minds. Eventually now he's going to go back and he's going to have his shot on goal. Probably 45 metres is the distance to contend with 45-degree angle.
Very important shot this. It'll put them within, within 18 points after being 5 goals down.
Well, in comes Willie Rioli to reduce the margin to 3 goals. It's a pretty good kick. In fact, it's a very good kick. It's a goal. Willie Rioli opens his account. Neil Vivi exchanges pleasantries. The Bombers have their second, a much-needed goal. And the margin is back to 3 straight kicks. 5-1-31 Wanderers. The Tiwi Bombers 2-1-13. 21 minutes gone. First term on AFL NTV.
They've definitely lifted their work rate, the Tiwis. I can see the game slipping away. They're not a particularly good side of playing catch-up football, the Tiwis. So they want to be on fairly even terms, you'd think, at quarter time. Ross Tungatalam now been moved onto the ball. Willie Rioli playing out of a pocket. He's now been taken up by Thomas Motlop.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that matchup goes as play recommences. Finch has been involved a lot today, and then Mullins flicked a handball out to Priest, who got it to Tungatalam, uses the left foot this time towards Liddy. Comes off hands. Height tries to barge his way through, and he got one high in the process, says the umpire. Interesting decision.
Yes, took them on, did Christian, and the umpire deemed that he was grabbed too high. So that's always a 50-50 decision.
Well, the Bombers' late surge sees them within 3 kicks. A straight kick here would reduce the margin to 12 points. In the shadows of quarter time here at TIO Stadium, Christian Height comes in. An important kick, and it's a straight kick for Christian Height. 2 goals is the margin. The Bombers are fighting back.
Yes, they've kicked the last 3 goals now, and they look a lot better now that they've got some scores on the board. Scoreboard pressure, they call it, Dave, and that's exactly what it is.
Goal kickers so far, Gray. 3 to Chris Dunn, singles to Adam Cook and Jackson Holmer, while for the Tiwi Bombers, Simon Munkara, Willie Rioli, and as we just saw then, Christian Height adds his name to the goal kickers. Plenty of goals from set shots today already. Gray, it's interesting to note. I think the only goal that hasn't come from set shot was one of Chris Dunn's goals. So it was the opening goal of the game, the only goal not from set shot. And these are 2 teams that traditionally you would expect run-on goals to come from. Ross Tungatalam from the clearance up towards Christian Height. He's on today, takes the mark, probably too far out to score. Wants to go in the Rupert Papungamiri direction, couldn't quite take the mark. It spills out. Motlop got it out to Mitchell Taylor. Little one in front of him. This is good pressure from Rupert, but Taylor did very well and answered the challenge. Got it to Mansell, back to Mitchell Taylor, now Alex Erlinson, and now the Eagles with some breathing room. Kicking towards the middle of the ground. Davin Ferreira took the mark and hit the ground running. Kicked up to Chris Dunn, who took the mark at centre half forward.
That is exactly why Davin Ferreira is so highly rated by the Eagles officials. He grabbed the ball and without no hesitation saw the option and put the ball right on Chris Dunn's chest. And you'd want no better person having a shot in the shadows of quarter time, Dave.
Well, Chris Dunn, he already has 3, and it's just the first term. Another long kick and another straight kick for Chris Dunn. He bangs through number 4.
Well, finals football. Chris Dunn obviously enjoys finals football as he waves back there to Davin Ferreira. Thank you for that pass, Davin. And I'll promptly kick my 4th and put my side 8 points to the good. In fact, 18 points to the good, sorry.
Well, at the 24.5-minute mark, it is Wanderers 6-1-37, leading the Bombers 3-1-19. Both sides finding it pretty easy to score at the moment, scoring relatively freely, both of these sides on AFL NTV. Chris Dunn, can you believe it? He's been the difference. He's already kicked 4 in this game, and singles to Simon Munkara, Willie Rioli, Christian Hyde, Adam Cook and Jackson Holmer. As we recommence things in the middle of the ground, Ferreira won the tap down from Priest, but his kick inside 50 intercepted, and the Bombers out of trouble to Owen Henry.
That was Adam Tippenwood. He took that mark. He's Chris Dunn's immediate opponent, so he'll have to tighten up.
Miles got it off, and now the Bombers up to Ross Tungatalum. Thomas Motlop wearing Tungatalum like a glove, forces him a long way from home, but that's a good kick towards the pocket. Munkara couldn't quite get back far enough. The handball up in the air comes to Cantilla, who is well tackled and brought to ground by VV. Crowd yells ball. The umpire says give it to me.
Neil, VV been very good.
That's Mitchell Taylor, in fact. I think it might have been at the bottom. I'm not sure. Was it?
Looks like Neil to me with the right knee strapped. Been very good since being moved back into defence midway through probably early in the season, in fact. And there seems to be a spot there at the centre half back.
Almost 26 minutes gone on AFL NTV, and it is Wanderers leading this one by 3 straight kicks. Can't be much time left in this opening quarter. Christian Height takes the ruck contest once again inside attacking 50. Finch, he's been able to gather the ball at ground level so many times. He's having a big impact for the Bombers close to ground. But on this occasion couldn't get free as a bit of a how do you do breaks out at half forward for the Bombers.
Aaron Motlop and Willie Rioli, former NT Thunder teammates, were right at it then.
Aaron Motlop's the one that wins the clearance in the end. Gray up towards Holmer. Ball's punched towards the Wanderers attacking goals, but Jason Purantatamiri reads it well. Spins right, left. Alex Erlinson just about claims him. Was good enough to get the handball off to Adam Tippenwoody. There's the quarter time siren. And at quarter time, Wanderers are leading by 3 goals. 6-1-37. The Tiwi Bombers 3-1-19. Chris Dunn has 4 goals. It's a very entertaining game on AFL NTV. Make sure you stick with us. We'll be back very shortly after the quarter time break.
After a hard day's work, you deserve it. When you're catching up with mates, you deserve it. Grabbing a bite with the missus, you deserve it. But drive after a few, you deserve it. A road safety message from TIO.
Every cigarette you smoke inside your car hurts the ones you love. And some of them don't have a choice. The next time you decide to have a cigarette, think about who else you're hurting. Smoking can kill those close to you. For help, call the Quit line.
Do you know a family in crisis? Contact the North Australian Aboriginal Family Violence Legal Service. We provide legal advice, representation, referral services and support to family and community. Break the chains of family violence today. Healing NT Families. For more information, call us today.
For Territorians, the roads are more than bitumen. They connect us. For TIO, it's the same. For taking us on safe journeys, for travelling free, for twists and turns, for turning the corner, for taking you back to health. Road safety for Territorians.
Amart Sports is your home of great sports with all the gear you need. Get a massive range of fitness, cycling, sporting equipment and games with clothing for any reason and footwear for all the seasons. From the biggest sporting brands in the world for the very best prices guaranteed. If you're a footy fanatic or a freak for fitness, relish the racket or bikes are your business. Amart Sports has got you covered with 50 stores Australia-wide. For a great range of great brands at great prices, get in store or shop online at Amart Sports today.
What did he say? He says you can see quite well.
Every eye is an eye. When you're doing the surgery there, that is just as important as if you were doing eye surgery on the Prime Minister or the King.
Yeah. He's going to be all right.
Second quarter of footy about to get underway on AFL NTV, and it's Wanderers that lead by 3 goals. Big welcome to TIO Stadium at Marara. Dave Kennedy's my name, joined here by Gray Morris. Gray, the Eagles got out to a 31-point lead, was it? A 30-point lead at one stage, and the Bombers fought back. Late goal to Chris Dunn sees the margin evenly poised at 3 goals at quarter time.
Yes, the first few minutes of this quarter will be important. The Tiwis reckon they will be thinking to themselves that they're back in this game. Wanderers have to reassert themselves.
We're just waiting for a few rogue spectators to leave the field, and then we will be right to go. We'll just see if we can get our time clock on our scoreboard right, showing the first quarter at the moment. We'll try and get that fixed for you guys now. And the umpire holds it aloft. We're right to go. on AFL NTV in the second term. Second quarter of footy underway at TIO. It's the Eagles by 18 points, I should say, at quarter time. As we move into the second quarter, Willie Rioli, was he claimed high? Umpire says yes, he was. He will take the free kick about 70 from home. Kicks to grass. It's a good kick. All Liddy had to do was take the catch, but he didn't do that. Then he got one high. He's going to get a second chance. I get the feeling that Matthias Liddy is a player that is playing with a few nerves at the moment, Gray.
Yeah, he's a one-touch type of player too, Matthias. If he doesn't get the grab first up, he tends to lose it, but very fortunate then to get it. Some type of free kick. I'm not quite sure where that came from. There was contact, but gee, this is finals football.
Well, let's see what Matthias can do. Didn't fire last week. The Bombers need him to fire this week. He's got a beautiful set shot, and this time he goes across the face of goal, so just a minus score.
As I said, he's very much a confidence player, Matthias, and the Tiwi Bombers need some goals out of him as well.
3-2-20, plays 6-1, 37, and yeah, as you say, Gray, they've already cleared the defence, but Dion Munkara has other ideas, goes back towards Liddy Wheatra, goes with the big punch over the top, and it was done very well. Aaron Motlop roved it, and then kicked up towards the wing. Ferreira, one touch, gathered, and then kicked up to half forward. Wanted Seaton to run onto it, but the Bombers trying to defend this one. Albert Tippenwoody combines with Adam Tippenwoody, goes through some traffic, handballs to Finch. One more handball to Scanlon, back to Finch. And the Bombers are out of defence for now. Comes off hands though, and Mucks are going to repel, maybe with interest. Jackson Holmer, inside 50, it's a spearing pass. Don't tell me Chris Dunn's going to kick another one. This time he hands off. Joel Seaton runs in, snapshot around the corner is another goal. Eagles kick the first of the second quarter.
Very nice goal there too from young Jolie Seaton. Didn't waste any time, turned around, kicked it around the corner, and number 7 on the board for Wanderers. Good first up football there. First touch football, straight into the forward-line goal.
Well, 7-1-43, the Eagles, the Bombers, 3-2-20. We're just going to update our scoreboard now. The margin is 23 points. Back in the favour of the Eagles. We played 2.5 minutes on AFL NTV. Let us know where you're watching. We always love to know where you're watching from on hashtag AFL NTV. As play recommences and the Bombers move it forward through Willie Rioli. Kick didn't find Christian Haidt. Gathered on the half volley though. Then was dispossessed, and Jared Erlinson found himself with time and space to work with. Kicks up towards the wing, wants Ferreira, very close to the ground. Has he taken it inside play? Not quite. Umpire says he was just wide of the mark. So,
unfortunate there from Mr. Erlinson. He's been very good with his foot skills, but not on that occasion, obviously.
Scanlon, long ball up towards centre half forward. But a good mark by Christian Child over the top. Now the short pass finds Ferreira, who's had just so much of the footy already, Gray. He's just such a composed and talented young player, isn't he?
Yes, he goes to the football. He finds the football, as they say, the old-timers.
Thomas Motlop, long and down the line. Liam Patrick was the target. It comes off hands and spills out of play. Davin Ferreira must be a very good chance for the NT News Rising Star Award this year, Gray.
Yes, it'll be announced on Nichols Medal night. There's some leading contenders, obviously. Davin, Brandon Parfitt from Nycliffe has got to be up there too. Michael Bowden, who had a terrific game early on for Southern District in the qualifying final.
Finch to Munkara, up towards Wanamiri. VV for company. Wanamiri keeps it in front of himself, then taps it back into play. VV though gathers the loose footy and takes it out of play. Boundary throw in at half forward for the Bombers. 4.5 minutes gone. The Eagles by 23 points on AFL NTV.
Very composed player back there is Neil VV. It's obviously his spot. He's found his slot in football, Dave.
Child and Mason. Some pretty good ruck talent there between those two. Finch, geez, he's been really good at the clearances for the Bombers. High kick inside 50. No one able to find the footy. Wheatra leads the chase back though. Liddy tries to claim him. Wheatra head over the footy. Munkara, good tackle, dispossessed him. Christian Height concedes territory with the handball. Got it to Mullins. Kick went off the side of the boot though. Out of bounds on the full. And the Eagles can reload.
The only concern for Coach Andrew Hodges would be that bit of uncertainty in the Wanderers' defence. We've seen that a couple of times now where they haven't been precise with their disposal. Bit uncertain. Very dangerous in finals. But they've got this old fella back there, haven't they? Daniel Motlop.
He's not a bad player and usually a very good decision maker, isn't he, Gray? This one goes long and down the line. Meeson had first crack at it in the end. Finch off hands. Another possession for him. Now Meeson in close and Miles. Geez, the Tiwi big boys are getting involved. Miles at ground level. That's Stephen Miles. Jono Miles not playing today, Gray?
Yes, obviously some type of injury, which is a bit of a loss, but Christian Child's been very, very good, and I've got leaping Liam Patrick too as the backup ruckman.
Stephen Miles inside 50, sets a task for Simon Munkara. It comes off hands. Another boundary throw in the forward pocket for the Bombers. 6 minutes gone, 23 points the margin on AFL NTV. Wanderers leading this one.
That's why they've got the slingshot type football, the Tiwi Bombers. There's no one down there really to take a big mark, is there?
Back into play. Liddy did the ruck work for the Bombers. It comes out. Christian Height. Can he manufacture something? Not quite. Simon Munkara from the congestion. Oh, it rolled into the post. And Daniel Motlop takes the quick kick in. And suddenly, look at this. The Eagles are away on the far side of the ground. A couple of bounces there. And then the handball inboard to Dunn. And they're already on centre wing. Nice casual kick down the line finds Jackson Holmer. It's a measured build-up, but they're already at half forward. Now the kick for Cook is good at half forward. Buruntatamiri stands the mark about 55 from home. There's plenty of numbers back for Wanderers as well. In the end, the short kick for Erlinson wasn't great. Does he get a free kick? Not quite. Dion Munkara, handballs off. Jabaston Priest. And then a short kick from him is good. The Bombers should clear the danger zone. Tungatulum put his teammate Adam Tippenwoody under immense pressure, but then he mopped things up. Tungatulum combines with Adam Tippenwoody once again, and the Bombers are off and running. Adam Tippenwoody, he's bouncing it like a basketball. Little one over the top to Cantilla. And they hold him up at half forward. Alex Erlinson, that is on the mark. Roy Cantilla looks inboard, spearing past to centre half forward. Ozzy Wanamiri takes the catch, about 48 metres out from home.
Be just on his distance too, Ozzy. He's looking to offload though. What's he going to do?
Tungatulum there next to him, and also Scanlon. In the end, Wanamiri just unloads up towards the goals. Goes across the face. A minus score is the result, so just a behind there. The Bombers really need goals at this stage. 3-3-21. They reduce the margin to 21 points. Wanderers 7-1-43. Cruz over the top, good kick. Thomas Motlop just backwards of the wing. Owen Henry on the mark. Motlop plays on though, up towards Holmer. Good battle there with McElwee, who takes the mark. No, not quite. Not paid. Off hands, maybe. Seaton's there. Cook's there. Clever handball to Cruz. Kick was partially affected. Jason Purantatamiri mops up for the Bombers and got it to Dion Munkara, who goes with the short 45 option and finds Jabaston Priest. He had to pinpoint that pass because there's 4 muck-mucks and just 1 Bomber, and it's Ozzy Wanamiri, and he won. He palmed it off, but then his handball let him down. JJ Motlop was there, and the Wanderers are going to clear. David Cruz to Aaron Motlop. Back to Joel Cabillo. Back to Aaron Motlop. Now he's got a little bit more time and space to use. He kicks up towards centre half forward. Miles got a hand on it. Barrera was dispossessed. It came off to Joel Seaton. To David Cruz, who kicked from 50 and hit the post.
Yes, nice lead-up play by Wanderers. They always had a player running by or an option to unload to. Unfortunately for Cruz, a lovely shot from 50 metres, but it went right.
You can see there the ball's about 45 metres out. It rebounded off the post and pinged back about 45 metres. Great.
Yes, David Cruz punched the air. He thought he got that, but it must have veered away with this breeze.
Albert Tippenwoody short and direct pass. Owen Henry.
And the breeze, of course, it looks like it's going right across the ground as well, Dave.
It's a good kick. Dion Munkara just dropped the mark that he should have taken. Then Vivian Kiranua was dispossessed after the kick didn't travel 15 metres. Mitchell Traylor tries to palm it on. Munkara goes in once again. Aaron Motlop cleans him up. And another ball up. Well, it was a bit messy there from the Bombers.
Gee, I reckon there's been more contest in close than were in the so far that were in the entire game when these two sides played back in round 16.
Alex Erlinson down to Scanlon, handball to space, wanted Finch to run onto it, he gathered, put the arms up in the air, made sure he didn't get tackled. Now Ross Tungatalum, he takes a bounce, goes with the short option, finds Christian Height, and he can go back and have a shot on goal for the Bombers.
Bombers need this. They've sort of been hanging in there a little bit in the last 10 minutes. And Hyde will take his time with this. Right on 50 by the look of it.
Well, in comes Christian Height. 21 points is the margin, or 22 points is the margin, I should say. And it's now 21 after that shot misses.
Yes, not being given the room to overlap in their forward line. It's all set shot for the Tiwis. Not their favourite way of booting goals, Dave. They'd love to kick them on the run. Oops.
Oh, that's not a good kick there. And VV has missed that one. So 3-5-23. Our scoreboard just out by a point there. 7-2-44. The Eagles. Margin 21 points. Willie Rioli, the recipient of the free kick. He's in about row 6 at the moment. It'd take one hell of a kick, Gray Morris. But Willie Rioli is one hell of a player. In he comes. He kicks from outside the boundary line. Willie Rioli. Oh, geez, if he'd kicked that, we would have called the game off and said, we've found the best player ever to play the game.
2/3 of the way up it hit. It was a beautiful kick by Willie, but unfortunately the history will show it was only one behind.
So a goal worth of behinds now for the Bombers. 3-6-24. They trail Wanderers 7-2-44. 9 scoring shots apiece.
Wanderers finding it a lot harder to get the ball out of the fence, which is a good sign for the Tiwis. They're manning and zoning up now on them. The freewheeling Wanderers defence seems to have been closed down temporarily.
Tap down, Christian Height, round the corner. No one there though. Eagles cut it off. Casemiro. Looks short. Willie Rioli dives. Can't quite affect that one though. Chris Dunn took the mark, got up, kept on running. Handball to Alex Erlinson, left a footy behind it, spilled out of play. Centre wing just beneath the magnificent scoreboard here at TIO Stadium, which has the Tiwi Bombers 3-6-24. I think our scoreboard just 1 point out at the moment. Wanderers 7-2-44, so the margin is 20 points on AFL NTV. As Papungamiri can't quite trap it low to ground. He taps it on in front of himself, then lost his footing, then now he's over the footy. Now he needs to get rid of it, and now he's pinged. He won't be happy, Rupert. Chris Dunn claimed him.
Yes, blaming everyone else but himself on that occasion, Rupert, as players often do.
Dunn wants to switch play to VV. Let's see what he does with the footy this time. His last kick went out of bounds on the full. This time he hits up Paul Grant with no trouble. They've got the overlap here, the Eagles. Simon Bates can go over the top to Thomas Motlop. And Thomas Motlop hit the ground running. He kicked it to a dangerous spot. Needed someone to run onto it. Mark almost taken by Joel Seed. And Liam Patrick, he tried to run through a brick wall that was Josh Finch, but he couldn't get through, and the Bombers should clear through Adam Tippenwoody. Got it to his partner in crime, Albert Tippenwoody. Then he was dispossessed. Got the handball out just in time. No one able to gather the ball cleanly at the moment, but the Bombers are the ones edging it forward. Willie Rioli, and now Vivian Kiranua kicks off the ground. The umpire said illegally though, so an Eagles free kick just backwards of centre wing.
Numbers of the ball there won them the free kick, Wanderers. They'll be pretty relieved to get out of that too.
Short pass finds David Cruz.
Some fairly basic skill errors from the Wanderers of late. Neil Vivi kicking it out on the full. Alex Ellenson dropping that mark on the wing. And of course that move forward then, the spilled mark from 20 metres out. So you want to improve on their skills as they get another free kick though.
Yeah, Jason Purintatamiri dispossessed. The umpire said holding the ball. Very tough on that one today. Jackson Holmer has the footy, about 80 out. He kicks it to about 20 metres out from goal. Wants someone to fly. Priest was the one that flew for the Bombers. Everyone else rated down. Bombers have the numbers. Rupert Papungamiri shows Erlinson the footy, then bounces off him, then tries to run back through him, but Erlinson claims him, holding the ball. Rupert's been done twice in 2 minutes, Gray.
Terrific determination there by Alex Erlinson, one of the most underrated players at Wanderers.
His kick doesn't hit the target though, Gray, and he's let himself down. Mullins takes the mark, might get another chance, just couldn't quite get hands to it, Erlinson. It spilled out the back though. Bates, little one over the top to Cruz. A lot of players that aren't moving too much at the moment. The game being played at a high intensity. Cruz went short to Liam Patrick. Wanderers have options everywhere. In the end, Joel Seaton's one of them, but the kick cleared him and Mullins cut it off. Plenty of errors creeping into this game. Tunga Talam, the magic man, to Rupert. This time he got rid of it with plenty of time remaining. Albert Tippenwoody links up. Ozzy Wanamiri couldn't quite take the handball. Then he tried to palm it towards Willie Rioli, who gathered the footy. Ducked his head, got it out to Liddy. Can't quite pick it up at ground level. JJ Motlop flicked a handball out. The Eagles should clear here, and they do. And Jared Erlinson has time and space to work with. He takes the mark backwards of centre wing, kicks up towards half forward. Kick had to be perfect, but Dunn it was. He's got Patrick in room. Can go back to Dunn. Didn't quite. It came off hands. Patrick palmed it back down to Dunn. Dunn had a shot on goal that went across the face. Cook didn't take the mark. He might gather at ground level and kick a goal. He does, but the umpire says advantage given and a goal.
Well, they did it the hard way, didn't they? The handball over the top there by Liam Patrick was smothered. He got it back, but then they bit of a scramble on the pocket. But Big Cook, with his size and strength, as I spoke of earlier, was enough to get on the around his right boot and kick number 8 for Wanderers. So they've got away a bit here, Dave, again.
Wow.
That's his second goal too, big Adam Cook.
One in the first, one in the second, Gray, and 26 points is the margin now. The Eagles are in the box seat at the moment. The Bombers really need to respond. They need to do it in the last part of this second quarter. They did it in the first quarter. Will they be able to do it once again? We'll have to see in the remaining minutes as Jared Erlinson sharks the footy from in close, kicked it inside 50. Adam Tippenwoody did well though. Got up high and took a very good mark. Then lofts a kick up towards Rupert Papungamiri. Yeah, that was really good work there. Came from Davin Ferreira. Eventually, Joel Cabillo got it to JJ Motlop, who kicked into the pocket. David Cruz found space. And can you believe it? Wanderers can extend the margin to 32 points here. A game-high 32 points if Cruz converts.
Gee, a lot of players seem to have stopped. You mentioned that earlier, Dave, a couple of minutes ago. It's not... It's not the fast running game now, it's kick to position. Maybe that burst early has tired them out.
David Cruz, it's going across the face, it's going to go right across the face. Out of bounds on the full. Really, there should have been a Tiwi tall there, Gray. There wasn't, or Priest was the man, but he wasn't close enough for my liking. Meeson, Owen Henry now at half back. Needs someone to take the mark. Simon Munkara edged his opponent cleverly under the footy, and his opponent was Daniel Motlop. Then he kicked up towards height, couldn't take the mark. Wheatra did well. Got the handball out of defence towards Daniel Motlop, who then took it out of play. A little exchange of pleasantries there.
He's tried some milking there for a free kick, Daniel, but the umpire's a bit smarter than him on that occasion.
Boundary throw in. Christian Child going to do the ruck work with Scanlon. Free kick. Not. I'm assuming, Gray, that it's that rule that says that there must be separation in the ruck contest.
Separation. I think that was what it was for. Yep. Here's Neil Viva. He's been very good for Wanderers.
Takes it inside defensive 50. Then goes laterally. Mitchell Taylor. Now Daniel Wheatra.
Slowing things down a bit here, Wanderers. I think they've taken a stop for a bit of a deep breath. It's been flat out football.
Davin Ferreira inboard. JJ Motlop doesn't take the mark, and he's swamped.
Might be in trouble.
Owen Henry got it out. Eagles had numbers to come and lend support. Now Thomas Motlop sends them inside 50. Seedham waited out the back. It's not dead yet. Adam Tipungwuti didn't take it out. Jackson Holmer very nearly sharked the footy. Albert Tipungwuti now to Jabaston Priest, who streams out. Got to kick it though, you'd think. Oh, umpire pinged him. He ran too far.
Yes, definitely more than what is it nowadays, Dave? 12 or 15?
15 metres.
15, yeah. So, once again, perceived pressure then. He couldn't find an option, so he thought he'd keep running with the ball. That's okay in the rugby league, but not in Aussie rules.
Wow. And look who's got the free kick, Gray. It's Chris Dunn. He's already kicked 4. He can send through goal number 5 here. Just couldn't quite get the accuracy there. A minus score and a sigh of relief for the Bombers.
Just watch his shot then from Chris. Very close to the man on the mark.
Might have been just struggling for distance there.
Which made him, as you say, lean into the ball a bit heavier than usual.
Jason Purintatamiri forced to play on, and as we see him do so many times, he just does that big bout turn and goes the other way. And now Priest out of defence for the Bombers. There's not really anyone across this half forward line for them to build though. McKelvey there takes it out of play, and it's another boundary throw in. 21 and a half minutes gone on AFL NTV.
As your boy Priest pays for that mistake by getting taken off.
Yeah, he goes off at an inopportune time, Gray. As Wanderers go into attack, it's just not a good time to make a change when your team's under siege in their defence, and to abandon. Miles is going to struggle to get to this contest, the man that is replacing Priest. From the throw-in, Scanlon won the clearance. Oh, geez. Cantilla hit it hard. Didn't really affect the contest in the end. Mitchell Taylor just put the footy up in the air, then tried to send a barrel towards goal. Desperate lunge from Cruz, but the ball goes out of play. Boundary throw in. It's still inside attacking 50 for the Eagles, who are leading this one at in the shadows of half time by about 27 points, Gray.
It is. It's 27 points exactly. I'm just looking at Ross Tungatellum there. He appears to have no one on him now, so looks like it's free for all football again. Well,
that's the way we like it, isn't it, Gray?
Aaron Motlovich closing down at half time.
There it is, half time. What a frenetic half of football. The players, crowd, commentators and everyone can take a collective deep breath and compose ourselves, because at half time it is Wanderers 8-3-51 leading the Bombers 3-6-24. Goal kickers so far, Chris Dunn has 4, 2 to Adam Cook, singles to Joel Seed and Jackson Holmer for the Bombers. Simon Munkara, Willie Rioli and Christian Height. Great, the Bombers didn't kick a goal that quarter. They're going to need to find something after the half-time break. Will they or won't they? We'll find out soon on AFL NTV. Make sure you stick with us after the half-time break.
After a hard day's work, you deserve it. When you're catching up with mates, you deserve it. Grabbing a bite with the missus, you deserve it. But drive after a few, you deserve it. A road safety message from TIO.
Every cigarette you smoke inside your car hurts the ones you love. And some of them don't have a choice. The next time you decide to have a cigarette, think about who else you're hurting. Smoking can kill those close to you. For help, call the Quit line.
Do you know a family in crisis? Contact the North Australian Aboriginal Family Violence Legal Service. We provide legal advice, representation, referral services and support to family and community. Break the chains of family violence today. Healing NT Families. For more information, call us today.
For Territorians, the roads are more than bitumen. They connect us. For TIO, it's the same. For taking us on safe journeys, for travelling free, for twists and turns, for turning the corner, for taking you back to health. Road safety for Territorians.
Patrons are reminded that TIO Stadium is strictly a non-smoking venue and that patrons wishing to smoke must use the areas provided.
Amart Sports is your home of great sports with all the gear you need. Get a massive range of fitness, cycling, sporting equipment and games with clothing for any reason and footwear for all the seasons. From the biggest sporting brands in the world for the very best prices guaranteed. If you're a footy fanatic or a freak for fitness, relish the racket or bikes are your business. Amart Sports has got you covered with 50 stores Australia-wide. For a great range of great brands at great prices, get in store or shop online at Amart Sports today.
What did he say? He says you can see quite well.
Every eye is an eye. When you're doing the surgery there, that is just as important as if you were doing eye surgery on the Prime Minister or the King.
Yeah. He's going to be all right.
Hello, Dave Kennedy from AFL NTV with your insight into the Premier League. Well, the five is locked in and the stage is set for an incredible final series. St Mary's will have the week off this week after finishing in top spot. Southern Districts and Nightcliff to battle it out for a chance to play St Mary's next week. The Tiwi Bombers and Wanderers will play off in a cutthroat elimination final. Darren Ewing is the winner of the 2014-15 Dennis Dunn Trophy in a round that had plenty of drama. Willie Farah bagged 11 goals but fell too short of Ewing. Matthias Liddy in third spot. Thomas Motlop and Ross Tungatalam make up the top five.
to let you know that registrations for junior football are now open.
Grab your friends and sign up to play our game.
We play footy because we love it. To join your local club, visit playafl.com.au.
After a hard day's work, you deserve it. When you're catching up with mates, you deserve it. Grabbing a bite with the missus, you deserve it. But drive after a few, you deserve it. A road safety message from TIO.
Every cigarette you smoke inside your car hurts the ones you love. And some of them don't have a choice. The next time you decide to have a cigarette, think about who else you're hurting. Smoking can kill those close to you. For help, call the Quit line.
Do you know a family in crisis? Contact the North Australian Aboriginal Family Violence Legal Service. We provide legal advice, representation, referral services and support to family and community. Break the chains of family violence today. Healing NT Families. For more information, call us today.
For Territorians, the roads are more than bitumen. They connect us. For TIO, it's the same. For taking us on safe journeys, for travelling free, for twists and turns, for turning the corner, for taking you back to health. Road safety for Territorians.
AFL Northern Territory are committed to providing a safe environment for all patrons. To report any antisocial behaviour, text the issue and your location to 0498 062 213. Please note, responses cannot be sent.
Amart Sports is your home of great sports with all the gear you need. Get a massive range of fitness, cycling, sporting equipment and games with clothing for any reason and footwear for all the seasons. From the biggest sporting brands in the world for the very best prices guaranteed. If you're a footy fanatic or a freak for fitness, relish the racket or bikes are your business, Amart Sports has got you covered with 50 stores Australia-wide. For a great range of great brands at great prices, get in store or shop online at Amart Sports today.
What did he say? He says you can see quite well.
Every eye is an eye. When you're doing the surgery there, that is just as important as if you were doing eye surgery on the Prime Minister or the King.
Yeah. He's going to be all right.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium. It is still half-time here on AFL NTV. It's the Bombers that are trailing this one, Gray, at half-time. The margin is 27 points, and the Eagles have really just jumped out at the moment to maybe a match-winning lead.
Well, you're right. They're first of the ball. They're kicking goals. Chris Dunn, 4 in the first quarter, certainly set them up. The Tiwis have to play catch-up football, Dave, and they're not particularly good at that. So they're going to have to come out in this particular quarter and kick a lot of goals in a lot of hurry, because if Wanderers get a sniff, if they can do what they did in the first quarter, this game might well be over. 4
goals to Chris Dunn in the first half of footy. 4 goals, in fact, in the first quarter. Yep. And he's really been the difference when we look at the margin. 27 points, 4.5 goals. Chris Dunn and his impact on the game in the first quarter really has been the difference in this one.
Surprisingly in many ways too, because we all looked at Adam Cook and Liam Patrick, of course, who we thought would play major roles in this game, but it's you're right, it's been Chris Dunn who's kicked those goals. 2 goals owed to Adam Cook. He's looking dangerous. Big, strong fella down there on that undersized Tiwi backline.
And obviously looking at the Tiwi ledger as well, great. Goal kickers Simon Munkara, Willie Rioli and Christian Haidt. There's not a lot going on. They need the likes of Matthias Liddy, Ross Tungatalum, those type of players to get back into the game, don't they?
They do. They need to find a goal kicker there somewhere. You mentioned Matthias there. He's got his hands to the ball a few times, but he hasn't looked effective yet. He did have 1 shot for goal in that second quarter that went away for behind, so he has scored. He scored 1 behind, but he needs to produce more leading straight down the ground too.
As both teams are back out on the ground now, great. Wanderers are warming up, and the Bombers also in positions. Earlier today, of course, it was Southern Districts that were big winners, 144 to 63. How much does that add up to? Great. I need to do some long division to work out the margin there.
That's an 81-point win, which is 1 more than last week, which is a surprise. You thought Nightcliff would have bounced back pretty hard. They looked good early, but Districts finished very strongly. They'll rate their chances next week against St Mary's, Dave.
Nightcliff had a lot of kids out there today, arguably, giving them some experience in the finals. Ryan Moo, Lockie McKenzie, Ryan Nyhouse is another one that comes to mind, and also Cale Cossack, and I think that they've got one more player that's under the age of 18. Lockie McKenzie is another one that... Brandon Parfitt. He's the one that I was missing there. Of course, how can I forget Brandon Parfitt? They're best and fairest. So they've certainly blooded some new talent in the final series, but it just wasn't enough for them today.
Well, yes, you're right. Final football is all about winning now, and Damien Hale and his selectors are going to have to burn some midnight oil, you would think, during the week to get the right combination together, because the winner of this game will be very, very confident. They live on confidence, both of these sides, and Nightcliff are going to have to rebound very strongly. And will there be changes, Dave, to the Nightcliff side? Yeah,
well, it'll be interesting to see who they can bring back in more to the point, rather than who they will bring back in, as both of these sides are Tiwi and Wanderers back out. Just a final word on Southern Districts. They were impressive. 6 goals to Jason Eagle, and Districts will go into next week and their match against St Mary's with a lot of confidence.
Well, they're rolling on, aren't they? 2 80-point wins over Nightcliff. Terrific form to take into a second semi-final. Of course, the winner of that into the grand final. St Mary's coming off a week's rest, though, will be very, very fit and ready to go and hungry, as they always are. So Districts are going to have to play out of their skin, but the way they're going, anything can happen in finals.
Wanderers leading this one by 27 points. We'll forget about the other games for now, Gray, and let's focus on this one. 27 points the difference. Will the Eagles continue their dream run? They had to fight for survival last week against Palmerston, and they managed to survive, and they're fighting for survival once again in this game, and they're looking the goods at the moment. It is the Eagles by 27 points. The Bombers are the ones on the back foot. 3-6-24, the Eagles 8-3-51. Goal kickers, as we mentioned just earlier, Chris Dunn has bagged 4, 2 to Adam Cook, 1 to Jackson Holmer, and 1 to Joel Seaton. While for the Bombers, Simon Munkara, Willie Rioli and Christian Haidt are the goal kickers. They didn't register a goal in the second term. That's something they'll need to rectify if they're to get back into this one. More action on AFL NTV about to get underway very, very soon. As umpire Collins is about to restart things, we'll take this opportunity to quickly read out a tweet that we got during the break, Gray, that came in on hashtag AFLNTV. Of course, if you want to join in the conversation, make sure that you send us a tweet. Ollie Cook, halftime. Tiwi Bombers trailing Wanderers at halftime by 27 points. Never enough against Tiwi, though. Hashtag go Muck Mucks. As the Muck Mucks do go forward, we'll read the other ones as they come in, as Adam Tip and Woody can't quite gather that one first time. Jared Erlinson went in there as well, and then Finch threw his body in. Scanlon, he's well tackled by Holmer, brought to ground. The umpire stalks the pack and then calls for the footy. Ball up, right on the attacking 50 for the Eagles, Gray.
hitting very hard. Wanderers are hitting very fairly. I don't say hitting as in hitting. They're tackling very ferocious. They're certainly hurting the Tiwis with their tackles.
Tap down Liam Patrick, little kick. Didn't really gain much ground. Adam Tippenwoody off the ground, and then Finch clears the danger zone towards Willie Rioli, and he takes the mark just backwards of the wing, hands off, and the Bombers are streaming forward. The kick up towards Ross Tungatalum. He edged Thomas Motlop under the footy, then he accelerated away. A second bounce for Ross Tungatalum. He looks inboard, no one there though. Ross probably could have had a shot.
Simon Moncur ran past the ball then, actually, of all things. He ran past it, so once again, no targets up there for the Tiwis.
And look at this, the Eagles clear on the far side. Daniel Motlop to Aaron Motlop, right on centre wing there. And then the kick up towards half forward is perfect. Liam Patrick takes the mark at half forward for the Eagles, about 80 metres out. He can go short to Dunn, ignores that. Now the options come. Cook and Holmer is the wider option. That's the one that he goes for. He takes the mark, 45 out. He'd have to kick from 50 right on the boundary, Jackson Holmer. He's assessing the scene and looks like he's going to go back and have a shot on goal here, big Jackson Holmer.
Important shot, this one, for the boy from Torquay.
There we go. Jackson Holmer from about 48 metres out. He gives it a ride right to the goal line. No mark taken. It comes off hands. What can the Eagles do at ground level? Little one off the ground, Ferreira. It's cut off Albert Tippenwoody. He was so calm and collected on the last line of defence. Just got it casually out to Paul Scanlon, who goes wide to Owen Henry. Takes the mark at half back for the Bombers, and he wants to go inboard to Finch. They can build here from half back, the Bombers. Finch, he needs someone to lead into the space. Ask Liddy to lead up the ground. Liddy gathers. He's got two Eagles to beat. He was clean on that occasion. Kicks up towards Wanamiri. Had to come back with the flight. Didn't quite take the mark, but got a free kick in the end. VV maybe a little stiff on that occasion, great.
Yes, he was hard at it. Unfortunately, he after the mark was built, he collected Austin Wanamiri on the way out. So it's Austin Wanamiri now from 45, once again, just on his distance.
Well, it's a huge kick, Gray. Needs to open his account here, you feel. He's an important leader of this football club. And this is an important kick. Austin Wanamiri from 48 metres out. He liked it off the boot and he kicked the goal. A much needed goal for the Bombers. They draw first blood in the second half and they reduce the margin. 4-6-30. The margin 21 points. Wanderers 8-3-51.
Yes, very handy goal there to Austin Wanamiri, the former Melbourne footballer, AFL of course. Good lead-up play there by the Tiwis. They held off the pressure, the early pressure there from Wanderers, forced it forward, and nice kick found Austin Wanamiri, who was fouled, as they say in soccer, by Neil Vivi.
Ball back in the middle of the ground. Hashtag AFL NTV if you want to join in that conversation. And we have had a few tweets coming in, just getting them up on my device. But Ross Tungatala, meantime, won the centre clearance, spearing pass towards Christian Haidt, then Tungatala in for seconds. But the Bombers should clear here. Little one towards the boundary line from Thomas Motlop. Goes out of play. He got the desired result. Willie Rioli made sure that he took that one over the line. Loving finals footy on AFL NTV from Melbourne. Khan the Mighty at Wanderers NT. Hashtag Muck Muck. And there's a picture, some hair gel of everything. Dry Muck Muck duo. Andrew Gillies has tweeted that photo. Graham Clayton also joins us. Watching the Bombers Wanderers game at South Windsor, New South Wales. Hashtag AFL NTV. Hashtag Ashraf Davies, the boy from Yarra Glen. Well, he's not out there today, but he will be next week, you'd think, as the Bombers move it forward. Clever tap down, and now the kick inside 50. Thomas Motlop just stood in the way there and took a good defensive mark.
Do you think the longer this game goes, that lack of forward options is going to hurt the Tiwis? They just can't. What's happened here?
Free kick, Bombers.
They just can't get an effective shot at goal. Thomas Motlop again on the dangerous Willie Rioli.
Paul Scanlon takes the mark just backwards, or just forwards of centre wing, I should say. Spearing pass to Christian Haidt, had to be perfect. He kicked to the turnover zone, and Haidt took the mark. He got back very quickly off his mark. He lets launch from 51. Can they shepherd it through? Not quite. It's touched on the last line of defence. Good defensive work from the Eagles. Daniel Motlop and Mitchell Taylor involved.
Yes, they got back in numbers then, right on the goal line, as good defenders do.
20 points the margin. 4-7-31. Eagles 8-3-51. On AFL NTV, Willie Rioli is very excited on the mark, showing plenty of enthusiasm. Mitchell Taylor forced to kick well and truly over the man on the mark. Meeson and Mullins there for the Bombers. Neither of them could gather the footy. Jared Erlinson went in. And also Joel Cabillo. And then Liam Patrick went over the top of Finch. Affected the contest. Adam Tippenwoody, Albert Tippenwoody now. A little kick. Jared Erlinson emerges, got to his feet and then kicked up towards centre half forward. Mullins came back with courage. He affected the contest perfectly. Then he got the little handball out towards Owen Henry. Couldn't quite get clean disposal before he was wrapped up. The Bombers are just edging it forward. Little one towards the boundary line. McElwee, can he keep it in? Not quite. Oh yes, he can in fact. Good work from the big fella. He got the handball off to Owen Henry, whose kick was perfect. It really opened up the run for Josh Finch. Backpedaled and then lofted to centre half forward. Liddy didn't take the mark. Umpire almost got cleaned up in the process. Christian Height was there. Can he get the handball out? Aaron Motlop wraps him up. Zelio Casemiro picks up the crumbs. Goes back towards his teammate there in Cruz, who was taken out crudely. And the umpire says free kick at half back.
Gee, that one against Wanderers. They had the ball. They'll get 50 metres, but...
David Cruz has milked that like a cow.
Yes, but he's a very happy cow. He's got a smile from ear to ear.
A happy heifer, Gray.
Yes, a happy heifer. I was going to say something in, but I might get myself into trouble, so I won't. So here we go. It's in fact, I thought it was 50, but it's not.
Maybe the 50 has been alleviated somehow.
Yes, they've trimmed it up to about a 10-metre penalty.
Can you do that? That should be... That should be all right. The umpire just adjudicates how far the penalty should be as it comes towards Daniel Motlop at half forward. He did well to thread away through to Davin Ferreira to Chris Dunn. And that's where it came unstuck. Owen Henry can just about take this one out of play. He elected to keep it in, and with good reason, because he kicked it to Paul Scanlon, who had space, and then kicked a long ball to Willie Rioli and David Cruz. What's going to happen this time? Can Cruz find another free kick? Not on this occasion. Rioli mops up, kicks towards Wanamiri. Oh, huge fly, Wheatra! The umpire pays the mark.
He was higher than Joe Cocker then. It was a magnificent mark.
Daniel Wheatra. What a grab. In defence, if you don't mind. Alex Erlinson has it on this near side. His kick had to be perfect. It wasn't quite. Jared Erlinson forced to try and mop up. It's scrappy at the moment. Eventually it spills the way of Wanderers. Scanlon trying to handball it towards Cantilla. Thomas Motlop pushes him towards the boundary line. Daniel Motlop and now Paul Grant, and Wanderers with some clear air and running room. Good kick up towards the wing. Holmer takes the mark. The leads come from further up the field. He goes out wide. Just waiting down at the back. Mark might have been taken by Seaton. Umpire says no, he juggled it.
Over the line.
Over the line.
That's the secret to it. But they seem to have withheld this surge by the Tiwis, apart from Austin Wanamiri's goal.
Back into play. They all gather around the footy. Holding the ball, says the umpire. Tiwi Bombers, free kick, too far away for me to see, Gray.
Yes, looks like one of the Tippenwoody boys, and here they come.
Run down from behind. Great tackle, Davin Ferreira. And really, Jackson Holmer is very lucky that the umpire didn't call advantage there, because Davin Ferreira is now going to go back and have a shot on goal.
Yes, true finals football there from young Ferreira. As I said before, why Wanderers rate this kid so highly. Very experienced brain too. There was no panic there. He knew he had to get hold of him, threw him to the ground, earned the free kick. If he can kick this, it could be the turning point of this quarter, Dave.
In comes Davin Ferreira.
Oh.
This one's really skewed well off the side of his boot. Goes out of bounds on the full.
Tried to steer that one through instead of kicking through it. Bit of nervousness. It's a crucial part of the game. Wanderers leading by 20 points.
Short kick. Bradley Palapamini. Bombers fighting for survival at the moment. They need to register a few more goals. They've managed just one in the last quarter and a half of footy as we've played 10 minutes into this third term, Gray, on AFL NTV. Miles down the line towards Rioli. It just dribbles out of play. Boundary throw in, centre wing beneath the scoreboard.
Both sides looking a little bit tired. There's been a fair bit of heavy hitting. Been a very physical game, this. Real final football, Dave. No prizes for the loser, too.
It is absolutely cutthroat, Gray, in the elimination finals as Erlinson knocks that one down. JJ Motlop through traffic. The Bombers win the clearance, though. In towards the middle of the ground. No mark taken, Wanamiri. Thomas Motlop heads for the boundary line. Is that deliberate? The umpire says, yes, it was.
Very good decision there by umpire Collins. No doubt where Thomas was going. It wasn't backwards, it was to the boundary line.
Finch, a high one up towards half forward. Liddy takes the mark. Still too far from home, although Matthias Liddy, anything's possible. He's got a booming right foot kick. He's just going to send it long towards Height and Motlop. Motlop got front position, just palmed it down towards JJ Motlop. Then Daniel Motlop mops up and then kicks to Liam Patrick.
What a lovely kick out of position, out of the back line that was.
Found him on the chest, Gray. 10 metres backwards of centre wing, the far side here at TIO Stadium, where Wanderers lead by 20 points. Patrick up towards Holmer, just forward of centre wing, goes inside 50, looking for Cook, spills out the back. Bombers have numbers. Can they gather? Not quite. Ferreira's there. He had to beat Munkara. He did just that. Went with the outside of the boot. Oh, Davin Ferreira. He's a rare talent.
Magnificent goal. Measure that up. Kicked it off the outside of his boot, I reckon, in the end, and on purpose. Straight through the middle. Very handy goal of Wanderers. Gives them a 26-point break. Once again, the Tiwis broke down across half forward, Dave. They just can't find a goal-kicking option. Matthias Liddy well held. I'm just looking at his immediate opponent. Looks like Mitchell Taylor.
Well,
no, it's not. In fact, we go back further. Looks like he's been moved out to centre half forward.
Great. You mentioned that Davin Ferreira, a rare talent. He couldn't manage to kick the goal. He couldn't have made a worse attempt at the set shot from about 20 metres out, but he managed to make the impossible goal look quite easy.
That's right.
It's absolutely incredible from Davin Ferreira as Wanderers go forward once again through Cook. Kicks inside 50. It's palmed away, though. Wanderers still inside 50. Purantatamiri, a little one over the top. Holmer's there. Purantatamiri mops up and wants to switch play, though. And the kick is good. Finds Priest, far side of the ground, who moves it on in turn to Mullins. Mullins needs to link up and find someone here. He finds Christian Height. The kick was just too high and didn't allow Height to move.
Oh, he's used up time here. All his players have been manned up. Have to go backwards.
Got a Priest who fumbled as well, and then his kick came off the side of the boot. It somehow found Vivian Kiranua.
Terrific manning up this by Wanderers.
Now Aussie Wanamiri, Rupert Papangamiri, I should say. What can Rupert do? Can he give them a lift? Spearing pass inside 50, no one there. Well, there is someone there. It's Neil Vivi. He's got the wrong coloured jumper on.
It's a word in that, Dave. Frustration. They just could not find an opening. No one moving. Now it's Wanderers on the move.
Simon Bates. Little one over the top.
Poor kick, though, by Simon there.
Miles mops up. Goes to Mullins. Miles to Mullins. And now Wanamiri in space. Goes shorter. Finch. Didn't quite. And now Rupert Papangamiri. What's he going to do here? Rupert had to get around Taylor, elected to handball to space. Wanamiri picked up and then went to Liddy, who took the mark, and he's well within his range.
I reckon this is his first or second mark of the game, Dave.
Jeez, he's really struggled in the last 2 or 3 weeks, Gray. I think it's the notoriety that's come with being a contender for the Dennis Dunn, but he can really give his side a lift here In comes Liddy to reduce the margin. He sets sail from 48 metres out. Oh, he's an exemplary set shot, and he exemplifies it on that occasion.
Yes, a very nice goal there by Matthias Liddy, who puts the margin back to 20 points. Very tense game this, going to and fro the fortunes.
It is a really tense game, as you say, Gray. You just get the feeling that the Bombers are clinging on here. The Eagles have the momentum. The Eagles have the run. The Bombers just managed to stay with it as best they've been able to do. 20 points the difference. 5-7-37 the Tiwi Bombers. Wanderers 9-3, 57, and even 20 points as we enter the middle part of this third term. Priest does the ruck work for the Bombers. Nook Mansell over the footy. Just kicks it off the ground. Taken by Dion Munkara. He's a man that needs to lift. That's a pretty good kick though. Papungamiri didn't take it. VV got a hand on it, and then Papungamiri was dispossessed. Oh, the umpire said high tackle. I thought he might have ducked his head there, Gray. But Rupert may have been gifted an opportunity to kick a goal.
I thought he did. I definitely thought he ducked into that, but the umpire saw otherwise, and it's Rupert here from about 30 metres out, Dave. Very important shot, this.
Well, here we go. Let's see what Rupert Papungamiri can do. Can he lift his side and kick a goal that goes across the face of goal, and he misses? And VV gives him a pat on the head and says, thanks for playing.
Yes, there might have been a word snuck in there called justice too, I reckon.
Oh, dangerous kick in. Thomas Motlop under pressure. Meeson's there. VV cleans up though. Good handball. Casemiro, Mansell kicks out wide, and that's a good kick. Opens things up for Grant. Look at the Eagles spreading forward. Joel Cabillo's one of them. Davin Ferreira's another. In the end he goes for Cook, who juggles the mark and then shoves Purantatamiri out of the way and says, get out of my way, I'm kicking over the top. Oh, but the kick was too lofted. Miles game and affected the contest and forced it out of play. Good work from the big Tiwi Bombers. Ruckman come defender. Back into play. 17 and a half minutes gone. 18 minutes gone in the third term. Wanderers leading this one by 20 points. The Tiwi Bombers season is on the line as the Eagles go forward. Vivian Kiranua, his handball was errant. Didn't find Adam Tippenwoody. A chance for Bates to pick up the loose footy. Kick around the corner. Players can fly from both sides. It comes off hands. Christian Height had to be clean. Jason Purantatamiri almost stumbled over his own feet. They're mucking around with it, the Bombers. The Eagles trying to capitalise. Dunn, his kick was affected. Stephen Miles' handball was affected. Kiranua goes in once again. Holmer's there. It spills out to Bates. He got it on the boot. Seaton there. Bates once again from ground level kicks across the face of goal, and it's mopped up. The Bombers are going to work their way out of defence here, you'd think. Scanlon. Looping handball over the top. Now Munkara to Willie Rioli. Didn't take the mark. And then was held without it, says the umpire. And Casemiro looked up at the umpire. Willie Rioli was already gone. He kicked into the middle of the ground. Finch switches play. Simon Munkara. Liddy and Cantilla, the only men inside 50 for the Bombers. They both lead. He ignores both leads. Munkara has to go longer. Liddy doubled back. Almost took the mark. And then it almost rolled through for a goal.
I reckon it was already touched though by the time it got to the point post. Wanderers hanging on here.
Oh, dangerous kick in. Liam Patrick put under immense pressure. Willie Rioli is the man. Oh, the umpire's stopped play. Willie Rioli down in the foreground there. As we just pan to that shot there. Liam Patrick.
Yes, I don't know if he just
said, get off the field. Liam said, get up or get off.
I think he was winded more than anything else. I think he's pretty tough kid is Willie. Still trying to get his breath back.
3 goals is the difference, Gray Morris on AFL NTV. The Bombers, they're trying to find something. Vivian Kiranua kicks to centre half forward. Josh Finch takes the mark. And then he goes short, and the mark is taken by Roy Cantilla. Hasn't kicked a goal today, but he's kicked plenty in previous games, Gray.
Yeah, it's been very quiet, Roy. Been well held here by his opponent, who I reckon is Neil Vivi, but Roy will have a shot here. He'll take his time, pull his socks up, Wipe the sweat from his palm. This will bring them back to within 2 goals, though.
Wow. And this would ignite the Bombers faithful here today. And of course, watching online on AFLN TV. Roy Cantilla. He lets launch from 50 metres out. Rupert Papungamiri tried to will it through from the goal square, but it went across the face of goal. Another behind. Inaccuracy is plaguing the Bombers. 5-10, 15 scoring shots. The Wanderers 9-3, 12 scoring shots. And they're the ones that lead by 17 points as we've ticked into time on. 21 minutes gone in the third term. It's the Eagles that are leading this one as Daniel Motlop sends a torpedo punt to the wing. Meeson almost edged under the footy by Erlinson. Managed to get a hand on it, but Erlinson gathered the crumbs. Big Meeson is pursuing him, but Erlinson has the pace. He took 3 bounces, kicked inside 50. Mark almost taken off hands. Grant around the corner. Goes through for a behind.
Leg speed. That's the secret for Wanderers. I've got to use that. Big lumbering fellow Meeson tried hard, but couldn't get near him.
Jeez.
Fortunately, only a behind.
If you dropped the sauce to put on your pie, you would have missed that entire transition. As the Bombers try to clear defence, it's a dangerous kick. McElwee to Scanlon, and now to Adam Tippenwoody, to Josh Finch. They've got the overlap. Christian Hyde is the man. He can almost keep on running here. Handball wasn't great for him. Got it up towards Cantilla. Didn't take the mark. Cantilla still over the footy. Did reasonably well. But VV came back to lend a hand. And then little kick over the top for Liam Patrick. Runs a ring around Christian Hyde. And the Eagles are out of trouble.
It's showing a lot of poise under pressure, Wanderers too, which is should stand them in good stead in the time to come as we close in on 3/4 time.
Look at this, they've just chipped their way up to half forward, and now winding up Ferreira from 51. Just missing to the left-hand side. In fact, it might have hit the post. Nope, it's just missed to the left-hand side.
Yes, almost playing down the clock now, Wanderers.
Dangerous kick in once again. The Bombers playing some kamikaze footy. It's all on the line though. It is elimination final football. And here is one of the final specialists, Ross Tungatalam. Ozzy Wanamiri tried to palm one off, dispossessed in the process, regathered and then kicked to Simon Munkara. The Bombers go coast to coast. And it's the veteran that needs to steady the ship and kick a goal for the Bombers.
Simon Munkara came back to football this season after 3 years away. And now he's got the fortunes of the islands in his hands here in the form of that yellow Sharon.
Simon Munkara. What a fairy tale story it's been for the veteran. And he comes in and he reduces the margin once again. The Tiwi Bombers trail by 13 points after a goal from Simon Munkara.
3 goals to 1 this quarter. Yes, they're right back in this now. Wanderers wouldn't have wanted that goal as we approach 3/4 time, but a nice finish there by Simon. Led straight down the ground, the important thing. No leading to pockets or boundary lines. It gave him a big opening to aim for, and he made sure of it.
Well, he becomes the first multiple goal kicker for the Tiwi Bombers, Gray. 1 in the first and now 1 in the third. His other compatriots that have kicked goals, Willie Rioli, Christian Hyde, Matthias Liddy and Austin Wanamiri. The Bombers trailing this one by 13 points. The Eagles are the ones forced to respond. Just 1 goal in this quarter, as you mentioned, as Ross Tungatalam got the centre clearance. Almost a mark there to Joel Cabillo. It comes off hands. Ozzy Wanamiri threads a handball to Scanlon, to Simon Munkara. Didn't quite take it. Then Ferreira was wrapped up. VV's in close. His handball was good. He released Thomas Motlop, who took a couple of bounces, ran to the wing, and then popped one up towards Paul Grant, who took the mark just forward of centre wing. Asks his players to lead further up the field, then kicks a long ball into the pocket. Catch me if you can, they say, and it spills down. Adam Cook, now Jackson Holmer, a little handball in the Cruise direction. He's gang tackled by a couple of Bombers and all wrapped up. 25 minutes gone on AFLN TV. It's Wanderers that are leading this one by 13 points as we restart proceedings. The tap down goes straight to Owen Henry. He's being pursued by Shield. Out towards Willie Rioli, back to Owen Henry. And then a long kick out. Finch has 3 Eagles to beat, and he just about beat them. No, Ferreira took a very good grab. Solid mark taken by the young fella. But that's all she wrote in the third quarter. It is three-quarter time in the elimination final, and just 13 points separates the Eagles and the Bombers. A huge last quarter of football coming up on AFL NTV. Whatever you do, do not leave your computer. Make sure you stick with us for the final quarter for either the Tiwi Bombers, if I can say it properly, the Tiwi Bombers or Wanderers, right after this break.
After a hard day's work, you deserve it. When you're catching up with mates, you deserve it. Grabbing a bite with the missus, you deserve it. But drive after a few, you deserve it. A road safety message from TIO.
Every cigarette you smoke inside your car hurts the ones you love. And some of them don't have a choice. The next time you decide to have a cigarette, think about who else you're hurting. Smoking can kill those close to you. For help, call the Quit line.
Do you know a family in crisis? Contact the North Australian Aboriginal Family Violence Legal Service. We provide legal advice, representation, referral services and support to family and community. Break the chains of family violence today. Healing NT Families. For more information, call us today.
For Territorians, the roads are more than bitumen. They connect us. For TIO, it's the same. For taking us on safe journeys, for travelling free, for twists and turns, for turning the corner, for taking you back to health. Road safety for Territorians.
Amart Sports is your home of great sports with all the gear you need. Get a massive range of fitness, cycling, sporting equipment and games with clothing for any reason and footwear for all the seasons. From the biggest sporting brands in the world for the very best prices guaranteed. If you're a footy fanatic or a freak for fitness, relish the racket or bikes are your business, Amart Sports has got you covered with 50 stores Australia-wide. For a great range of great brands at great prices, get in store or shop online at Amart Sports today.
What did he say?
He says you can see quite well.
Every eye is an eye. When you're doing the surgery there, that is just as important as if you were doing eye surgery on the Prime Minister or the King.
Yeah. He's going to be all right.
What a huge final quarter of footy that is coming up live on AFL NTV. It is the Tiwi Bombers, 6-10-46, trailing Wanderers, 9-5-59. 13 points the margin for one of these sides. This is the last quarter of football that they will play in season 2014-15. Dave Kennedy's my name. Gray Morris is the man that joins me for the final quarter. Andrew McLeod is the man that has tweeted us, Gray, and he's asked us to put it on the line. Who are we going for? I'm going to say Andrew. I'm still sitting on the fence. Gray, who are you going to say?
No, I think Wanderers can hang on, although the first goal this quarter will be very important.
Willie Rioli inside 50. It comes to Roy Cantilla on the half volley. He screws one around the corner. But Mark is taken on the last line of defence, Daniel Motlop.
Yeah, it's been a rock of Gibraltar back there all night, as Daniel Motlop.
David Cruz from behind, brought it to ground. VV's there to rove. He's got Owen Henry for company. And VV, just about took that one out of bounds on the full. The umpire saying, nope, that's all right. Out of bounds is all right. Uncle Munga is also watching. Great.
Yes, he's a Magpie man, of course. He'll be disappointed his Magpies didn't get there, but he'll be enjoying this final.
Back into play, Willie Rioli. Little one out. Now Scanlon kicks into the hot spot. Simon Munkara tries to go around the corner. Munkara's still there. Daniel Motlop wearing him like a glove. Nook Mansell in the end gets the defensive clearance only as far as Dion Munkara. He can kick a goal from there, Dion. Goes on the trusty left foot right across the face of goal though. Minor score is all that is the result.
And of course, Dave, what will play a big part in this last quarter will be fitness. The Tiwi Bombers say that they're peaking at the right time of the year. We're about to find out.
6-11-47, the Tiwi Bombers, and Wanderers 9-5-59. As the kick there is marked by Wheatra. Took an absolute hanger in that third quarter, Gray. No doubt that'll make the highlights package. As Thomas Motlop goes long. Christian Child takes the mark just forward of centre wing. Eagles building very well here. Another mark taken, Nook Mansell. He's about 90 out from home, but he's got plenty of options inside 50. Holmer, Cook and Patrick. Goes in the Patrick direction. Liam flies! Can't quite come down with it. Adam Tippenwoody has to be clean. He is. Albert Tippenwoody takes the mark and then brings it to the grandstand side. Jason Purantatamiri. He's got room to work with. Takes a couple of bounces. He can go very long to Christian Hyde. Elects to go shorter than that. Finds Willie Rioli. And now Hyde leads back towards goal. Forces Willie Rioli to kick to him in the end. Willie Rioli kept on running. He runs inside 50. Kicks to a dangerous spot across the face of goal. And the mark is almost taken by Simon Munkara. Then he wrapped up Daniel Motlop and dispossessed him. Simon tapped it back. Roy Cantilla kicked a goal. No, he missed. He missed across the face. Jeez. How did they muck that up, the Bombers?
They mucked a couple up. They dropped that mark, of course, and then, of course, Roy Cantilla. All he had to do was straighten up and slam it through, but a bit of over-anxiousness.
12 points. We've already had 2 draws this season, Gray. Could we have a drawn final?
Drawn final, of course, will mean extra time, so we might be here till midnight.
Geez, I'll miss the 9 p.m. closure of the video shop, Gray.
Gee, that is...
What am I going to do with my Saturday night? I'll have to listen to the replay of us. Meantime, a kick across the face. Paul Scanlon couldn't quite take the mark. David Cruz emerged with the footy. JJ Motlop came straight off the interchange bench. Stephen Miles said, thank you very much. I'm going to punch this out of play. Boundary throw-in just forward of centre wing. Oh, this game's had just about everything. 12 points the margin. It's the Bombers on life support at the moment as the Eagles cling to a 2-goal lead. Boundary throw-in. Child does the ruck work with Priest, who came over the top. Clever little tap from Scanlon to Owen Henry, who kicks up towards centre half forward. Oh, Daniel Motlop got up very high, went the two-fisted fist towards the boundary, and it went out of play. Boundary throwing this time half forward for the Bombers, Gray. 4 minutes gone. Final term. Eagles by 2 goals, by 11 points, I should say.
11 points only, yes. Right in this now, the Tiwis, but they need a goal.
Big punch from Priest. Gains about 15 metres in distance. Casemiro, is he going to keep it in? He is. Interesting decision under pressure. Thomas Motlop kicks it out of bounds on the full. It's going to be a Bomber free kick just forward of centre wing.
One of the Tiwi's better players in the last half, in the last quarter of a bit, has been Owen Henry Jr., coincidentally a former Wanderers player.
Well, good kick there from Scanlon, finds Priest. Not much movement coming from further up the field. That's going to be the problem for the Bombers. Priest is forced to bomb away. The umpire has called 50. Oh, controversy here. And the Bombers are going to have a shot through Priest from no more than about 20 metres out.
And I reckon that's Liam Patrick encroaching within the prescribed distance.
High drama. The last time these two teams met, Gray, it was the Bombers that won by 108 points. The time before that, Liam Patrick kicked a double goal to gift Wanderers the lead. Now Priest goals from 50-metre penalty, and the Bombers are back within single digits.
More importantly, they kicked the last 4 goals. So they're going very well indeed. Here we go. We've got a...
Joel Bowden just intervening at the moment to remind us of the news that Liam Patrick did kick a double goal to beat the Bombers a number of rounds ago. Of course, that's old news. Right. We did mention that, Joel Bowden, as he leaves the commentary box. It is tense scenes in the commentary box at the moment, as the margin has been reduced to just 5 points, less than 1 goal in it. This is incredible. Both sides and their seasons are hanging by a thread. Erlinson from the congestion, little one up the ground. Liam Patrick, he may have given away the 50 just before, according to Gray Morris. Kicks up towards centre half forward, but Adam Tippenwoody cuts it off in front of Joel Seedon. And he's going to switch play to Jason Purantatamiri in the back pocket. Little short one. Mullins has to be clean. He was. He's got Miles wider still, and that's the direction he goes. The switch is complete. Miles dropped the mark, though, and it spilled out of play. Oh, a huge error from the big fellow.
I reckon he might have lost that in the lights, of all things. It was a high kick there by young John O'Mullins there. I reckon he's lost it in the lights.
What can the Eagles do in attack? Tap down there from Holmer, Ferreira, high handball. Miles slaps that one out of play again. Another boundary throw in inside 50 for the Eagles, who have managed just 1 goal in the second half, Gray.
Yes, they need some goals, Wanderers. They need these guys to put their hands up. Homer, Patrick, and of course Adam Cook, who we gave big raps pre-match to. They've got to exert their influence.
Holmer taps it down. Miles can't quite gather. He's got to be clean. He ended up getting out to Priest, who just threw it on the boot. Erlinson stood underneath it, didn't take the mark. Then he gathered at ground level. That's good work from the big fella. And then Mullins was just gang tackled and just dumped into the turf, Gray.
Of course, the other player, David, who we haven't seen much since quarter time, is Chris Dunn. Kicked 4 goals in the first quarter, well held since then.
Very good point, Gray. Chris Dunn, 4 goals, as you mentioned, in the first quarter. No goals after that, so it's going to be interesting to see whether he can work back into the game. Only 5 goals from Wanderers since his 4 in the first quarter. Well, in fact, they kicked 6 in the first quarter, so only 3 goals since the first quarter. Holmer, through the congestion, just pumps one to the hot spot. Adam Cook and Vivian Kiranua comes back with the flight. Here's Chris Dunn from an impossible angle. Goes across the face. Davin Ferreira, he might kick a goal from the opposite pocket, and he does! Davin Ferreira kicks a settler, and the Eagles celebrate as they should.
Remember, this is an 18-year-old kid too, Dave, following his first NTFL final series. Could have blazed away to his heart's content, but measured it up beautifully, went round the corner, over the shoulder. A magnificent goal for a young kid, and that may be the settler that Wanderers need.
Margin back out to 11 points. It is all happening here on AFL NTV, Gray. 7-12-54 the Bombers. The Eagles move out to 10-5-65. Andrew Hodges in his first season of coaching. Willie Rioli Sr. also in his first year. For one of them, it's coming to an end soon. Adam Tippenwoody and Adam Cook both crashed the pack. The result, Adam Tippenwoody gets a clearing kick to Aussie Wanamiri. He shrugged one tackle, then his handball was errant towards Liam Patrick. Dion Munkara, he's over the footy. Albert Tippenwoody's claimed by Liam Patrick. It spills out. Alex Erlinson pumps it inside 50. Holmer is there. He got front spot. At the fall of the ball is Seaton. Screws one around the corner. Oh, geez, the Wanderers fans thought it was through. I thought it might have been through as well. Just a minor score in the end. The margin an even 2 goals. Maybe extra time on the cards if the Bombers can manage 2, Gray.
Gee, there's nothing fancy about Wanderers. They're just forcing the ball forward, which you must do in final footy. Force it forward.
Foot race here. Adam Tippenwoody just threw... Just a little one off the ground, and then Thomas Motlop gathered, kicked up towards centre half forward. Dion Munkara flew. Joel Cabillo weighted down. He won the ball, got it into the pocket. Adam Cook and Jason Purintatamiri. Jason Purintatamiri wins this battle, and then he runs away from Cook, takes a bounce, somehow keeps the footy in, takes a second bounce. He's running out of play, but somehow managing to keep the footy in. Cantilla flies from behind, can't quite come down with it. Stacks on the mill, if you don't mind, and the umpire finds a high tackle free kick just backwards of centre wing for the Bombers.
Very fortunate free kick there. Wanderers seem to have the run of play. Now it's the Tiwi's turn.
Cantilla goes short to Scanlon, who wants to go further afield. It's such a dangerous kick there. That's the turnover zone, and this is exactly why they've turned it over. Mansell, Joel Cabillo over the footy. Oh, it's kamikaze stuff. One team is going to score from this position, you'd think. Christian Hyde up towards centre half forward. Rupert Papungamiri somehow managed to keep control of the footy. Then Thomas Motlop sharked it. Chris Dunn to Zelio Casemiro, and they go wider still towards Jared Erlinson, who's content to see the ball out of play. In fact, we've had a whistle. Downfield free kick, so it's going to be a free kick to Erlinson. He's about 65 out. Dunn's floated into space once again. There's that elite running capacity that Chris Dunn, we know, exhibits. Nick McElwee on the mark. Short kick from Dunn is good. Finds Adam Cook. And he can go back in no hurry and really kick a settler for the Eagles.
Hasn't the momentum changed in the last 2 or 3 minutes? It was all the Tiwis. Got to within 5 points. Look like they're going to overrun Wanderers. But the game has turned again, though.
Adam Cook, a goal in the first, a goal in the second. But none more important than that one. Adam Cook bangs through goal number 3. And that's what the margin is. 3 goals in favour of the Eagles.
This is why they spend so much money on getting Adam Cook up. I know for a fact the Wanderers hierarchy have spent hundreds of dollars on phone calls trying to get Adam. In fact, he was going to move to Darwin to live at one stage. But certainly that experience, jammed up against the boundary line, and he kicked a goal. So that gives them, what, a 18-point lead, though, about 12 minutes into the last quarter.
18 points with not too much time remaining. It's been a game, as you mentioned, Gray, that both teams have found it difficult to score in. So it'll be a hard road back for the Tiwi Bombers as Mullen hands to Meeson, who kicks up towards Liddy. It comes off hands and spills out the back. Dangerous position for the Eagles defenders. Rupert Papungamiri, there's the don't argue, Dale. Didn't quite gather. Now Liddy was dispossessed by Wheatra. Goal-saving tackle, Ross Tungatalam out of the goal square towards the boundary line, takes it out of play, boundary throw-in, and it's inside 50 for the Bombers.
Terrific tackle by Daniel Wheatra. I'm sure his dad, the great Tommy Wheatra, would have been proud of that.
Boundary throw-in inside 50 for the Bombers, who trailed this one by 18 points. Hard-fought game. Matty Campbell sent us a tweet saying that the winner of this is sure to beat Nightcliff, and it's hard to disagree with that at the moment. Christian Haidt got front position and then got it to Mullins, who kicked in board. Close to the boundary line, Mitchell Taylor dived, couldn't quite control it. It spilled out of play. Still inside 50 for the Bombers, who need a goal. They trail by 3 straight kicks. 18 points the margin. 14 minutes almost gone in the final term. Will it be curtains for the Bombers season, or will they fight back and defeat the Eagles in this one? Child got the tap down. Christian Haidt is over this one. There's plenty of players around the footy, and we'll all take a collective deep breath, Gray.
Yes, I'll be quite happy to have it on the inside again at stoppages. But they want Wanderers. They don't want to let the Tiwis get it on the outside and start running.
Haidt won the clearance up towards the hot spot. Is there a runner there for the Bombers. Owen Henry's their man. Paul Grant with him close to the boundary. Spills out of bounds the opposite side. This time the forward pocket, the grandstand side at the airport end of TIO Stadium, where a huge crowd has gathered today for both games. Great. The AFL NT would be very happy with the crowds, and the football community should be applauded as Simon Munkara taps a little one towards Finch. He's very close to the boundary line. He kicks to the top of the goal square. Willie Rioli's there. JJ Motlop, clever tap. Daniel Wheatra kicks out of danger. And look at this. Wanderers with space. David Cruz can go to Jared Erlinson, who has an absolute paddock to work with. Erlinson takes one bounce. Erlinson takes two bounces. Erlinson runs inside 50 and kicks it out of bounds on the full. Yes. Well, that's the pressure of finals footy there, Gray.
A bit of an anti-climax, Dave. You gave it a big wrap-up, but it came to a pudding, really, didn't it?
And that has, as well as Joel Cabillo just about took the mark. Play on, says the umpire, and then he's taken out of bounds. Not sure what's going on here. Umpire Collins is calling for the footy. There might have been contrary calls between the umpires, so umpire Collins to bounce this one. Or to ball this one up, I should say. We haven't been bouncing around the grounds for a few years now. Meeson taps it down. Scanlon, clever handball. Owen Henry needs to be clean here, and that's a good kick. Cantilla in the box seat. Should have taken the mark. It comes off hands. Casemiro mopped up. Short to JJ Motlop. Took the mark on the wing. And then Motlop to Davin Ferreira, who kicked probably the most important goal of the game. Liam Patrick! Oh, just about took one of the marks of the year. Aaron Motlop weighted down. He's wrapped up Adam Tip and Woody. You just saw him.
Unfortunately, I think he's used Adam Cook's head as a launching pad too.
Just saw him set up for that one, Gray, as Miles wins that tap. Meeson, big hit on him. The bumper came off second best though. Davin Ferreira up towards the goal square. Kiranu is there. Good punch from him from behind. Oh, Papungamiri, I should say Jason Purantatamiri overran the footy. And now Mullins is there about. Simon Munkara, the Bombers' defence is struggling.
Once again, the ball on the inside. That's where Wanderers want it.
Clearing kick, but there's no one across half back for the Bombers. Child, all he has to do is pick it up and give it to Mitchell Taylor, who can go short inside 50 to Cruz, who takes the mark.
What's working against the Tiwis now, of course, Dave, is something you mentioned. The time clock now ticking over to 17 minutes. And David Cruz does what any footballer would do, take your time. In fact, he's picked out a short option.
Short kick is perfect. Now Mitchell Taylor will have another chance.
I reckon, Dave, it'll go, 24, 25 minutes? So they've still got time, the Tiwis.
Mitchell Taylor. If he kicks this, you could just about say that the Eagles are home. Hands off to Daniel Motlop, who goes bang! And he may have just won the game for the Eagles. Daniel Motlop floats forward and kicks an important goal. The Eagles are out to a 4-goal advantage.
Yes, it can be hard to peg back 4 goals. If any team can, it's probably the Tiwi Bombers. But they've got to within 5 points, looked $1 million, but they've just taken their foot off the gas. And Wanderers, of course, have put their foot on the gas and won the ball on the inside a lot. Kicked some very nice goals. Beautiful goal there by Daniel Motlop. Called for the handball from Mitchell Taylor and went along from about 55 and it went straight through, Dave.
Great kick there from Daniel Motlop. And the Eagles out to what you would think is a match-winning lead, but there's Ross Tungatalan with other ideas and Rupert Papungamiri also with other ideas. Short handball went towards Simon Munkara. Meeson tries to crash through. He's brought to a standstill at half forward for the Bombers, who trail by 4 goals. 18 minutes gone. Time certainly the enemy. The Eagles are home, you'd say, but here's Finch. He runs inside and kicks a goal. Maybe a sniff for the Bombers still, Gray. Finch kicks his first, and the Bombers are back within 3 goals.
Well worked goal there by Finch too. Spun out of a pack, saw he had nothing, just lined it up and kicked a goal. Although he did go close to the point post, but a goal's the main result. Back to 18 points, and just ticking over 19 minutes. So still 5 or 6 minutes left.
Who knows, Gray? There has been 6 goals in this quarter, so we're probably looking at it, as you said before, about a 25, 26 minute quarter. you'd say?
Yeah, so that'd be it. Who's going to win the ball out of the middle?
Well, Priest has been moved into the ruck for the Bombers. He wins that tap.
Tiwi's got it.
Owen Henry to Ross Tungatalum. Little one over the top. Davin Ferreira comes back with courage. Geez, he's been good today. Got it to Casemiro. The Bombers all ran one way and they left the Eagles to come back on the offensive. Chris Dunn goes short. Finds Joel Cabillo far side on centre wing. Short one once again. Finds Nook Mansell. Still on centre wing, the Eagles, not in any hurry. 3 goals they lead by as we tick towards time on in the final quarter of the season for either the Tiwi Bombers or Wanderers. Short kick, Holmer didn't quite take the mark. McElwee in pursuit of him. Holmer almost wrapped up. Handball goes out of play. Boundary throw in inside 50 for the Eagles as we tick into time on, Gray. You reckon the Eagles are going to win it from here?
Yes, well, they've only got to play common sense football now, really. Man up on their opponents and use the ball, and of course use the clock too. Don't rush things.
Back into play. Priest and Erlinson do the ruck work. Kiranua won the clearance. It goes up towards half back for the Bombers. Great mark, Mitchell Taylor. Kicks in board. Paul Grant needs to take the mark. He takes it about 65 out. Thomas Motlop is floating down. Goes in that direction. Wants to take the mark and play on. But he's forced back. Willie Rioli got up to make sure that he couldn't play on. Now Thomas winds up. Kicks up towards Adam Cook. Can't quite take the mark. It spills out. Holmer might go around the corner. Liam Patrick unmarked in the goal square, or just outside the goal square, takes the mark. And this will definitely seal it for the Eagles.
Bit of push and shove here between Willie Rioli and Thomas Motlop in the middle of the ground, but yes, you'd think that's where the seal up from Liam. We'll wait on the result of Liam Patrick's kick first, Dave.
When they played mid-season, Liam Patrick kicked the winner, and he may have just done it again. Patrick goals. The Eagles lead by 24, and a place in next week's knockout final against Nightcliff looks almost certain for the Eagles from here.
Just a bit of a plug there too for Paul Grant, number 8 there for Wanderers. Has flashed in and out of play regularly in this last half and done some very clever things. As I said, one of Wanderers' unsung players, but he's had a very good second half. Number 8.
Well, the Eagles, what a run it's been for them, Gray. When they lost to Nightcliff in round 17, you would have thought maybe their season is just about over. And suddenly, well, in fact, when they lost to the Bombers, to the Tiwi Bombers in round 16, they were absolutely annihilated, 108 points. Suddenly, they find themselves staring a elimination finals berth against Nightcliff in the face, and they'll probably go in favourites, you'd think. Joel Cabillo, meantime, maybe to put a bit of icing on the cake, he goes short, finds Adam Cook, who leads up.
Heads are down with the Tiwis now. I think they know it's gone. As a Wanderer supporter, you may hear in the background, letting his teammates or his players or the umpires let him know his feelings, but it's big Adam Cook with the football. Yes, the Nightcliff game next week, they will go in as favourite Wanderers, but as I say in finals football, they don't over till it's over.
Adam Cook, long kick on its way, but it goes across the face. Handy point, as they say, Gray. 25 points now, the margin, and you'd think, barring an absolute miracle or catastrophe for Wanderers, they're going to win it from here. McElwee, short, and now the Bombers trying to clear things through Adam Tippenwoody at half back. Short and wide, Owen Henry goes up towards half forward. VV's there. Managed to fist that one away. Dion Munkara tracks the footy back inside, attacking 50. Can't quite pick it up cleanly. Tapped it towards Roy Cantilla. Tried to give the big don't argue. Finch pounced on the loose footy. Kicked into the pocket. No one home. Willie Rioli just wanted everyone to drop it. They did. And then that one scooped out of play. The umpire said, that's all right, though. So our scoreboard just 1 point out at the moment. 13-6-85. Tiwi Bombers, 8-12-60. 24 minutes gone in the final term. The Eagles looking to record a famous victory at Finch, though. Got it to Wanamiri, to Roy Cantilla. Needs to have a shot, really. But this one goes right across the face. Wheatra takes it out of play. What a game he's had, Gray. He's a very, very underrated defender, Daniel Wheatra.
Very good player tonight. In fact, the whole backline's worked very well together. They've only got 8 goals kicked against them, and very hard to win a final by kicking 8 goals.
Well, Liddy just 1 goal today, and Wheatra's done the job on him. Here's Liddy anyway. Can't quite pick it up. And then he's wrapped up, the umpire said, illegally. So he might get another chance. Needs to go back pretty quickly, you'd think, if the Bombers are any sort of chance, which I don't think they are. But, yeah, what a great job Daniel Wheatra's done. What a great job the back six have done to reduce the Bombers, who are number 2 in attack this season, Gray. They've scored the second most out of anyone in the competition. To reduce them to just 60 points has been a phenomenal effort. Meantime, Liddy comes in, and this is right across the left-hand side and missing everything.
He tried to kick the leather off the football and just leave the bladder, but it didn't work.
So still 25 points in it. The Eagles are set to record an incredible victory, and their incredible run continues. Liam Patrick.
Right now, Dave, we're looking at a 133-point turnaround from the last time these two sides met.
That is huge, isn't it? McElwee short to Finch. Takes the mark about 80 from home. And then another short one finds Liddy. He's got a second crack at it.
There it is.
There's the siren. The 133-point reversal is complete. And Wanderers progress to the next round of the NTFL finals. Wanderers 13-7-85 defeat the Tiwi Bombers. Their score yet to be determined as we see a shot from Matthias Liddy. It won't change the result of the game. It's a good goal to Liddy all the same. So the final score, 9-12-66 the Bombers, defeated by Wanderers 13-7-85. Gray Morris from NT News. It's all over for the Bombers, but for the Eagles, well, they'd have to think that they're a very good chance going into next week's game against Nightcliff already.
Well, that's right. They were good down back. They were good through the middle and effective rather than probably good up forward. They kicked 13 goals, but it certainly was enough to win a final. Now they've got Nightcliff next week. They'll be focusing on that. Any injuries? There were no reports in the game that I saw anyway. The Tiwis will be very disappointed with that result. They had enough of the football to win it, but couldn't find enough goal-kicking options. And as you know, in forwards, you must kick goals. I see Joel Bowden standing behind me, played the 260-odd games at Richmond. He would agree that you must kick goals to win finals.
Yeah, we can see Joel Bowden in the background. We might be able to get a view of the commentary box, Gray, as we wrap this up. But really, in the end, 25 points the margin. And 19 points in the end, but Chris Dunn popping up with 4 goals. There you can see, there's the great man, Joel Bowden in the background. But Chris Dunn pops up with 4 goals in that first quarter. He's the difference for me. To kick 4 goals in a quarter, he's not the type of player that the Bombers would have expected to go forward and kick goals. When you've got Cook, when you've got Holmer down there, when you've got Child down there, and potentially Daniel Motlop that can go forward as well, Chris Dunn slips off the radar, doesn't he?
That's right. All the emphasis was on Adam Cook and, of course, on Liam Patrick and, of course, the big fella Holmer. But he's popped up, kicked forward, didn't kick another goal, but that laid the foundations of a 6-3 first quarter, which the Tiwis were never able to peg back. And, yes, their season's over. So they'll be very disappointed with that as they walk off the field here in dribs and drabs.
Well, the final score, if you've just joined us, Wanderers 13-7-85. The Tiwi Bombers, it's all over. It's curtains for the Bombers this season. 9-12-66. Goal kickers quickly. Chris Dunn bagged 4, 3 to Adam Cook, 2 to Davin Ferreira. What a game he played, Gray. Singles to Joel Seaton, Jackson Holmer, Liam Patrick, while for the Bombers, 2 each to Simon Munkara, Matthias Liddy, and singles to Willie Rioli, Christian Height, Sebastian Priest, Josh Finch and Ozzy Wanamira. It wasn't enough for the Bombers. The Eagles progress and advance to a final against Nightcliff next week, who were comprehensively defeated by Southern Districts. It should be a huge game. You'll see that one live on AFL NTV as well. Make sure you join us next week from 5:35. But from Dave Kennedy Gray Morris, Joel Bowden, Mark Knudsen from Kick Digital, and all the crew as rain starts to fall here at TIO Stadium. Thanks very much for joining us this week, and make sure you tune in next week for more cutthroat elimination final action.